up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Celtic Warrior Game.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome. What? Oh, awesome. Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to episode 1 of Wrestling on the Rocks. I am at Ref Marsh and producer of the show today.
Woo!
Good Lord. We are at OTR. We are at WOTR, the show. With me today, as per always, Miss AmandaJayne. Say what's up, Miss AmandaJayne.
What's up, Miss AmandaJayne? So, you're in charge tonight, huh?
I'm running the show. I set up her mic and her headphones. I can tell you, they're not even within reaching distance of her.
You didn't tell me. You did not tell me.
Rude. What an awful producer.
She literally, before we went on, said, "Let me watch the main event so I could be part of the show." Put on the main event, and then she goes, "I didn't know you set it up for me to be part of the show." Like, I was just, like, it was just not going to happen. It's bullshit, is what it is.
Dude.
Fucking bullshit.
Dude, your producing skills, I'm questioning it.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough racket. It's definitely a tough racket.
Yeah.
Well, this is where every show is our first show, because we can't get episode 1 right, as is evident, as our, This is evident. This is as evident as it gets.
Okay.
Yep.
Evidently.
Stop.
Evidently. And evidentially, we might get episode 2.
Yeah, we've definitely not been renewed for episode 2, but we are renewed for another episode 1. And that's where we're living. That's where we're living in it. We already got Splinter Fox in the chat. He's got a little Colt Cabana emoji. It looks like it's waving furiously, which is good. Yep, and he does say Tony Khan Man is bullshit. I call him Carney Khan, Splinter Fox. Got him. It's clever. It's clever.
Clever. It's very clever.
Amanda's agreeing. She's agreeing because she wants to stay on the show. That's all. We are going to have a special guest come on a little bit. In a few here, probably in the next 5-10 minutes, but we are going to get started without him, and whenever our new drinking buddy shows up, he'll be here. Splinter Fox says, "No, that is EC3. Get it right, Mark. EC3 is not Carney Khan. He's, I don't know,
he's
EC
weird.
Turd? He's a weirdo. I do think Andre Chase is the actually a character based off of the real EC3. Where he tries to get pupils together for a school that's not real and gives them terrible advice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just a feeling I get. But that's something we could actually talk about today too. Is the Braun Strowman video that came out? So, or Titan Adam, whatever he's calling himself. So we'll talk about that as well. But let's start with a little something simple. Miss AmandaJayne, what's in your glass?
Well, we're boring today. I'm drinking regular Coke. A Cola Classic.
Because classic.
That's what we do. And I'm not going to say sponsored, not sponsored, because they will never sponsor us. So
Definitely not going to get a Coke sponsorship.
No. Definitely not.
I'll be honest. I started trying some of those zero sugar sodas, like the A&W Zero, the Dr. Pepper Zero, Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero, Dr. Pepper Vanilla Zero.
Wait, did you just call it AEW?
AEW root beer, yeah.
It's A&W. Don't give everything.
It's elite. It is an elite root beer. So.
Look at all these jokes. Oh my god, dad jokes. Dad AEW jokes.
But I've been impressed by how much they taste like just regular soda. So I didn't know if you tried the zero sugar Coke or not, because it's crazy to me the way they've been nailing it.
That's the one that replaced Coke Zero, right?
Well, they're different. Supposedly Coke Zero is different than zero sugar Coke, because the idea is that the recipe flavoring's meant to remain the same. And that's what's been impressing me, is that the flavor recipes for all the other ones were the same.
I'll have to try that. I'll have to try that.
Yeah. But I'm just having a little bit of water, but I did pour myself a little margarita, a little keto Rita.
Christ.
What do you... Margarita? No? It's Crystal Light Margarita Mix, and I add my own tequila. Not that I made tequila. It's 1800, but it works. It's keto, so I can have a proper margarita.
You should, because that's something the brand could, be after.
Keto-rita?
A drink, yeah. No, you have a drink that, you're distilling something, some kind of spirit.
Yeah, I actually think that making a Wrestling on the Rocks whiskey should be on our. What do you call those boards? When people put like their dream boards together.
Oh, like a vision board.
Vision board, yeah.
So this is on? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's on.
Okay, good to know.
Let me double check.
Oh my god, you gotta double check now?
I might need to double check.
You just lied to me.
No, it's on. I can see it. It's got you. It's picking you up.
Is it?
It's picking up all of that. Yeah.
I can hear you, producer lady.
She can hear you.
His
Yeah, we'll leave this.
skills,
Definitely, it's on. Spin Fox says it's on. I'm glad we're doing the sound check now that we're live.
Well, you didn't tell me, so how was I supposed to know?
You were watching the show to be on.
Oh my god.
Grim Reaper's coming through saying hi. That's what Grim Reaper sounds like. Spin Fox says relax.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. Can't hear anything.
Oh,
You want to try
there we
again?
go.
Yeah, you heard that? Amanda, can you say something?
saying something.
Hello, I hear Amanda.
Hi.
Sweet.
Okay, now that we've got sound check done, let's get into it. The show.
I'm drinking Scatterbrain, by the way, which is delicious.
What is scatterbrain for those who don't know?
Don't say a damn thing.
I didn't say a
Marsh
fucking
is
thing.
about to.
I didn't say anything.
Uh-oh.
It's a dark chocolate and banana whiskey.
Ooh.
And peanut butter in it.
There
So
actually
what's
is no peanut butter. It's just dark chocolate and banana
Really?
flavored whiskey. Yeah, it was in the peanut butter section though. I will
I
give
thought
them
it
that.
was peanut butter, dark chocolate, and banana.
I did as well. It is not.
That explains why we didn't taste a lot of peanut butter in it.
Not. That's because we didn't read.
Yeah.
Words matter.
Reading's tough.
Yeah,
You don't need to
Reading's a tough
read.
one.
but it's delicious.
But you read the important things on the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
percentage.
I've discovered peanut butter is a little too sweet, and I drink way too much of it too fast. So this one is more like a dessert in that it's not extremely sweet, so I can actually take sips and remember that it's whiskey and not, I don't know, soda or wine.
Yeah, like Crown Royal, the flavored Crown Royals, me and Kev had a number of issues with those. Like, you can go back to some of the older episode ones and see us just polish off a whole bottle and go, whoops.
Yeah.
boy.
So,
Oh,
It's
boy.
fun, but yeah. But that scatterbrain's delicious.
absolutely.
I'll
Absolutely.
check that out.
Amanda, how about you give us some of the birthdays? Let's go through birthdays.
Yeah, there's not that many this week, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but let us wish happy birthday. Hold on a second. Now, see, look, this is why we can't have episode 2 because I lost my notes. Damn it.
I'm glad it's not just us.
I try to be professional, but obviously that's not happening. Okay, who do we got here? So I think she is like gorgeous. So happy birthday, Scarlett.
Oh, yay.
Scarlet
King Cross is,
Bujo.
Lady.
Back out there with Killer Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they got married out in Alaska too. They were like, I guess they were engaged for a bit there. I was always back and forth on if I thought they were married or not, but
No.
they officially got married just like a month ago in Alaska. And it wasn't a main city in Alaska. It was kind of like out in the woods kind of a deal. Yeah. It was really nice. They put up a bunch of pictures, little videos. They did an awesome job with it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I liked seeing that. Let's see here. One of our favorite people in the world. I think he's one of my favorite people. Woo woo woo.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Matt Cardona.
Oh.
He's amazing. Current NWA champion.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what they're doing with it right now?
Know what they're doing with it right now?
They announced that Nick Aldis is going to get a rematch for the NWA title, and I don't know if the show is tonight or tomorrow or when, but like tickets are on sale. But coming up, they're going to determine whether or not the title match will be in a steel cage or a death match. I can't imagine Nick Aldis actually doing a death match. And also, Cardona has said a number of times that he is retired from deathmatch, and that's why he's king of deathmatch, because he's won them all. And I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't want to keep doing it. Like, a lot more stories keep coming out more and more about Glass just poking out at people. Joey Janela said the other day on Twitter that that kind of stuff is exactly why he doesn't do death matches anymore, because he's tired of pulling Glass out for years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. Sorry about that.
I feel that. I feel
News
that.
break.
Yeah, but
Do you think they'll put it back on Nick?
Yeah,
I feel like they will too.
I think so. But I will say this: Cardona's got to be careful with calling himself the king of deathmatch.
He literally trademarked it.
Really?
Yeah, he owns the trademark for King of Deathmatch.
That's hilarious.
What a tool!
He's
I
amazing.
love him. No, I love him, but dude, we all know who the king of that shit is. Nick fucking Gage.
Nick Gage lost to Matt Cardona in a death match, so it's hard to argue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's true. You're right.
All right, Amanda, you've been told.
Yeah, I've been told, but I'm not happy that he trademarked that. But anyway,
Yeah, it's so funny.
I
It's like
probably tell him that I'm not happy that you trademarked that.
It's like passing the baton, no?
No.
He should be in the Deathmatch Hall of Fame. I'm surprised he's not.
Oh my God.
They just started doing that.
Yeah, he should have been the first. He's King Deathmatch.
No, because I don't think he had wrestled one before that.
You know that's why. You know it's why that. Oh, he did by the time it came, because it was like months after, but it was really close. But
Yeah,
you know that's why none of the other companies can have an internet championship,
because of him.
because he trademarked the internet championship. So that's why they have like digital media champion and stuff like that.
Oh my
I love
God.
it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
People don't understand. This guy is probably
So
one of
smart.
the smartest men in the universe.
So smart. He's so good.
So smart.
He even made a comment about it. He was all like, look, if Impact wants to make an internet championship, they're welcome to it. He goes, they just have to meet my price for licensing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck yeah, dude.
Smart.
All right.
We know who the brains of the Major Brothers were.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
Brian Miles.
And Splinter Fox says Snow has some glass coming out of her nose at the bank. She posted on Twitter. Yeah, I think that was the one that that Joey Janela made comment on. This is why
Yeah.
he doesn't anymore. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But, hey.
all right.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, woo, woo, woo. I still haven't met him yet. So
Yeah.
it's on my bucket list. And I'll ask him, what the hell, dude? You trademark some of these things, which are great. And then some you're like, really?
Yeah, you just gotta have those trademarks. Get them in.
Yeah. So I don't know. But, hey, it is what it is. So happy birthday, dude. And then nice, another wrestler that I'm really enjoying now is Dash Wilder. His birthday's this week, too.
Oh.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I think that...
Wait, he goes by Cash now, right?
I mean,
Or are you talking about Dax Harwood? There's Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, and they confused. Is he bald or not bald?
I don't know. I'm just reading this on off a thingy.
Yeah, that's back when in the wrestling in the WWE days. What was the name again? You said Dash
Wilder.
Dash Wilder.
Or
That
am I
one is
totally
Cash
wrong?
Wheeler. That's Cash Wheeler now, the haired one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know the E thing. I don't know. Next week has a lot of birthdays. And then another one, speaking of AEW, the non-annoying Gun brother, Colton. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Brother, obnoxious.
Yeah. I got you there.
Needs
Definitely.
to get down 20 levels at least.
Yeah, bring it down.
Yeah.
Bring it down. I wonder what's going to happen with Ryan Nemeth. because he hasn't been utilized much on TV, and I thought he would by now. I thought he'd been a lot bigger role. Like, I mean, I'm surprised we haven't even seen him against Wardlow. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. Yeah.
if they're setting up people to go to rip through people, you'd have thought Wardlow would have started with him before MJF started the whole, trials and tribulations thing. And
I don't know.
Powerhouse could always use a couple extra wins. You could get those on Nick. Or not Nick, Ryan. I'm just saying, I'm surprised they haven't used him more.
No. But, remember how they had let Peter Avalon go?
Yeah.
Well, Peter Avalon's wrestled more than Ryan Nemeth, sorry.
Yeah.
Ziggle Jr. Let's call him that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And finally, I think we see Cesar Bononi back and doing Dark, which we haven't seen him in a while. And I think Ogogo's back, too. So.
Yeah, apparently Ogogo was ringside for a match last week or the week before.
Mm-hmm.
So he's back, which I'm curious what's going to happen to him ultimately, because he said in interviews that the only reason he went there was because of Cody. That Cody was the biggest reason he was in AEW, that he talked to Cody, had a ton of respect for Cody, that he was training with Cody, so be really surprised to see what his next move is. I mean, and he might just find that he loves Tony Khan and wants to stay there for a number of reasons. I'm not saying that he would leave because of that, but it does make me wonder if he was so tight with Cody, because he also said that WWE offered him a contract before he signed with AEW, that he was offered big money from both. So it would be curious to see if, when his contract does come towards the end, if he sticks around or utilizes his connection with Cody again,
I wonder sometimes if the people who like Cody really championed, if they're kind of on Tony Khan's shit list. I wonder that.
It is curious. Spitter Fox says the TV star, then said he was let go. He was wrestling on Dark against Sonny Kiss. Yeah. Peter Avalon is no longer on a contract, though. He was originally signed to, I think, a 3-year deal. It came up. They did not renew it, so they're using him like any other local talent, where it's kind of a by appearance. Sort of like how they've been doing for Danny Jordan for 3 years. How they just haven't signed her, but they put her on like all the Dark and Elevation, and they pay her by appearance because they don't want to commit. It's the bummer, but hey, it's work, right? So it's hard to say. And then he goes, at the end of the day, they will all be in the WWE after AEW goes under. That's what Splinter Fox says.
No,
Not everybody.
Not everybody. I'll tell you right now, there's a handful of them that are going right back to the VFWs.
And there's a handful that probably Freddie Prinze Jr. will have.
Ooh, that's a good point. Let's talk Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
You're done with
let's do
birthdays,
it.
right?
Yeah, there weren't that many.
Yeah, so cheers for birthdays.
Woo!
Woo.
Clink.
But Freddie Prinze Jr. put out a podcast. He's talked about it. We mentioned it briefly. He wants to open up a promotion. I've seen a lot of people get really in depth about the success and will it have national TV and all this. I'll tell you, from listening to every episode of Wrestling with Freddie so far,
You're obsessed.
it's like 10 episodes.
Yeah, but 10 episodes might become over 400.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and I'll be on board for all of them. I'll be on board for all of them. And I will say that whatever he's doing promotion-wise, I'm going to try and weasel myself into one way or another.
That is
Somehow, I want to be associated with this Freddie Prinze Jr. promotion, whatever it is.
I do too.
Yeah, if you're hiring Freddie or accepting volunteers,
Yeah.
swing on by.
Freddie, if you hear me. No, I'm playing. He did say he's not currently bringing anybody in because he's still in a lot of developmental of the phases. But it also seems pretty clear to me that his goal wasn't national TV and to be some sort of like conglomerate. He's not trying to be an AEW or a WWE. It sounds like he wants to be closer to a GCW or even an MLW at the stretch of it. Like, it seems like he wants to have a small local thing that he's doing that he's just having a ton of fun with. It's the definition of a passion project. He even said that he when he first called his accountant to say he wanted to start one, he said his accountant immediately said, well, I'm not letting you spend a penny of the money you've been saving over the years to do any of that. He said, if you want to do this, you better go out there and make other money. And so he did. So like the last several things he did for Netflix was strictly to put money aside for this promotion. So if you've been enjoying any content from Freddie Prinze over the last year or two, you can thank whatever this wrestling promotion is going to be. So I think that sounds pretty cool. He wants to do a 2-hour show. I don't know if that means pay-per-view or if he's going to be on some sort of like Fight TV deal. He wants to own the venue. But yeah, I agree. I think he'll scoop up some people. Also, Conrad and Jeff Jarrett keep talking like they're not opening a promotion but are opening a promotion. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few spot shows with them, but I don't think they would be doing a full-on thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, remember when Jeff Jarrett was doing Global Force? And he tried to do that. It was actually a really good, I thought it was a very good mesh of people on the indies that did it.
Yeah.
Of course, with, traditional things, never came out this way.
Yeah.
But, I thought it was great. I mean, I never went to any of the events, but they look really fun.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think stuff like that will be cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jeff Jarrett. Big fan of Freddie Prinze. So whatever they want to do, man, I say do it.
Freddie should have gone to Hallmark and did like 15 million Christmas movies.
That's more or less. If you look on Netflix and see all the Netflix originals with Freddie Prinze over the past couple years, it's all pretty. Yeah, they're like. Oh, I don't know if they're Christmas special specific.
I like those.
Wouldn't be surprised if there's one or two in there.
Every time I think of Christmas Hallmark movies now, I think of Trish Stratton.
Trish Stratus.
Stratus, sorry. Sorry, I'm merging.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's in that Canadian Hallmark one.
She was in a couple. I want to say 2 now, at least.
2? I know one of them she, is a lumberjack.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's Canada.
That's true.
Yeah.
Stereotypical. Oh, my God.
I didn't make it. Canada made it.
Jeez, we're Canadians.
Good for her. It's a show, a movie, whatever.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Jeez, they should make one about healthcare and how everyone has it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you want things Canadian, let's go there.
It's true.
No, I told Ricky Starks once that I said, if you want to go into acting, the best thing you could ever do for yourself is go and do those Hallmark movies or Lifetime. Do 4 or 5 of them. And if you become the hunk of, I don't know, Hallmark, then you're
It can set you up for sure.
Big checks.
Spinnerfox says, shout out to Caitlin King for becoming the #1 contender for the NWA Women's title. Yeah, I saw that. And he said, dude, his idea to have a rooftop show, Freddie, I want to see that, but it fell through.
Yeah, it did. It did fall through. Yeah,
it did fall through. Yeah, he was looking at the idea of a rooftop one, which we saw Money in the Bank, and it looked dope. Even that couple of scenes they shot there.
However, that had no fans, and I'm sorry, but I don't know if I trust drunk wrestling fans to not have accidents, because that's not what I want to see. Because in New York,
drunk wrestling fans, I'd really enjoy.
Okay,
okay. I was going to say.
Guys, so New York is pretty. It's pretty normal to have rooftop shows, rooftop films, I should say. But I don't know about wrestling because the fans are really hit or miss, I feel like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you had anything like GCW and they were trying to throw shit at the ring and it flew off, that could hit somebody on the ground and that could be a problem.
Yeah, I don't want him in any legal trouble is all.
Yeah, you don't want a liability, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He says if he has more than women's wrestling than AEW, then I'm for it. He did say he wants to book women 50-50. He wants half the show women, half the show men, and I don't think that's impossible, but we'll see. There's also only so much women talent to go around, and I feel like NXT and AEW have a lot of prime women's talent. It's not to say that there aren't others around, but when I think of all the ones that I've been saying for a while, some of the top that are not scooped up, they're all scooped up now. So now it's kind of I don't know. You have to look around, I suppose.
Well, there's 3 that I think have not been scooped up, and I think they should. Obviously, one is Tessa, but we're not going to.
Tessa, Taya.
No, Taya's going back to Impact. She's back on Impact, but I don't know if she's signed a contract. Lufisto, because she's making a comeback. Yeah, I love her.
I think Diamante. I think she's technically not under contract with AEW.
Mm-mm.
And we mentioned her before, Danny Jordan's top of her game right now. Yeah, I guess there's a few out there. Bryn Thorne is a Arizona. I don't know if you've seen her around at all, Amanda. She's in Arizona. She goes up to Vegas and LA sometimes. She's fantastic. But Splinter Fox just says Mission Pro. He goes Athena, King, Snow. He's all like, and he says Mission Pro. Like, yeah, just start working with Mission Pro. Like, create a partnership.
Yeah.
We want to.
Maddie Winkowski.
Maddie Winkowski. Yeah, she's not. Sky Blue's not even signed by AEW, but he keeps using her too.
Wow. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, there's a lot. He said Willow. I think Willow needs a little work. If I'm being honest,
Dora.
She's got a lot of upside, but I feel like that she's got to be in there with someone who can help a lot. You know.
Well, I think that some of the people that she's being fed to are the greatest people to like really carry a match. So
that could be.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be all for it. I'm all for Freddie Prinze promotion of sorts. We'll see how
There's
it all
some
plays
really
out.
great women out this way. Brittany Wonder is one of my favorites. Yeah, shout out to her and Hood Slam, which they're returning. I'm excited. But I don't like the outdoor thing because that's way too many people getting high and drunk. So, but anyways, she is a great one. Nicole Savoy, love Nicole. She's not signed anywhere. She was signed by Ring of Honor, and obviously all this crap happened. So, but her contract didn't. It wasn't like they got rid of her contract. It just she didn't sign it again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
a lot of great ladies out there that still aren't.
Yeah, Dakota Kai's not signed right now. If he got to her quick enough, but at the
true.
same time, I think he doesn't believe it's going to happen for another 18 months, and I think that in 18 months we're going to be looking at a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays
That'll
out.
be a
I'm
really
excited for it.
interesting women's landscape.
Did you see Braun Strowman's new little video clip teasing his new character he's doing?
I did not.
No, I did not.
Well, you've seen that look he's got, right? Where he's got that kind of prodigy hair, where it's like the
Yeah.
dual mohawk thing that's spiky.
Yeah,
He had like
that
a
one-
suit. Yeah, he was wearing like
Yeah.
a suit that was open, and he licked a giant knife and said, "Why so serious?" And then it cut.
Good God, no!
I did not see that. Nope.
It was
No.
awful.
I don't want to see that now.
Yeah.
It was bad. I was all like, "Oh," because they're like, "Oh, he teases a new character." I watched it and I went, "Oh,
Oh.
this is
Yeah.
the best he's got."
That's how he's controlling his narrative. So,
Oh
true.
my God!
Good
You're
point.
not even trying to insult too. I know that.
Yeah, that's
It's-
his
I mean-
narrative.
that's the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're all about. So,
Yeah. With the amount of talk, because also it's been in the news lately that there was a couple things I saw on Twitter where people were going back and forth on, did WWE fail Braun Strowman? Did they not give him a push when they should have? Did they not give him as hard of a push as they should have? Could he have carried the company and they just missed the boat with him?
no.
I don't know. When you're a millionaire, I'm kind of like,
What does that?
I don't.
What do you mean?
I feel like you've been pushed for a while. If you
He's got enough money that insinuates he's been getting pushed.
Right?
He also won a match at WrestleMania. Sure, the WrestleMania had no fans, but
He got his WrestleMania moment.
he got a WrestleMania win over Goldberg and won the championship. I think that the pandemic exposed him. I think without the fans, it was hard to mask a lot of the stuff about him. I think that all this control your narrative stuff does more of that. I think that you just start seeing how unoriginal he is and how much he's influenced by those around him, and who knows who he was surrounding himself with then versus now. And look, man, I wish them all the best. I think there's absolutely a market for CYN, and I think that they're doing a good job, and I don't think that the shows are going to stop anytime soon. And I think that it's a pretty cool thing, and I like that they're doing it. But I will say that nothing about it has made me go, "Oh, WWE missed the boat on him." I go, "Oh, okay, this is what he's capable of."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they did all they could. He was constantly in programs with their absolute top stars. I don't know. What do you think, Amanda?
I never really kind of was impressed with him. I'm like his big dude. That's why he's there. Nothing great about it. But I think with CYN, You have EC3, who really, the only home he really truly had was Impact in the Dixie days.
Yep.
He had it good. Yeah, he had it good. And he just couldn't adjust to management changes, couldn't adjust to Ring of Honor. But then again, when he was at Ring of Honor, it was the shitty time. So, it's what it is. So interesting to see what he's going to do. Is it really fueled by a lot of bitterness? I wonder. But they do have some pretty cool people who are on the roster. Some people I don't even know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I get it with Cross. I get it. I get, if he's doing that. But it also shocks me that Tony Khan has not looked his way yet.
I'm surprised by a few people that we haven't seen shown up that I thought would have.
Mm-hmm. Because
I know the rumor is Cesaro or Gargano for this tournament, and I feel like Cesaro is a bigger possibility.
It's going to be Cesaro. I told you guys that on episode 1.
Yeah.
Because Tony likes the nostalgia.
It's true. He's a Ring of Honor guy.
He's a Ring of Honor guy. And you had Colt on there on the supercard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a possibility. Who knows? That could be Phil's retirement home over there.
I would be really happy to see Cesaro because, I mean, clearly he didn't get exactly what he wanted with WWE, right? That's why he left.
Yep.
So what we've been told.
Yep.
So I'd just be happy if he wanted a certain number, I would be happy if he got it.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Just please don't do this We the People again. Tony Khan, put him far away from Jake Hager, please.
He hasn't done it in forever. He didn't do it in WWE for the longest time.
Well, I know, but don't Tony likes that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. Please.
I'm surprised that the Bollywood boys never showed up. They did an interview recently where they said that they've never been called by AEW. They've never had any talks with them whatsoever. I don't know. I'm a little surprised by it.
Well, now that Sanjay's there, maybe they might get called, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think that if they were going to, they would have. Because this interview I saw of him was last week. Sanjay's been there for a month now, 2 months.
But he was
you've talked about a number of people from ROH that clearly never got the call. I'm just surprised by the amount of incredible talent that he's not bringing in. And then you kind of look at his landscape and
Flip Gordon,
James Storm.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just weird. Just weird to me. Did you have other news stuff that you had brought up?
I know you've probably been hearing that buzz about Kota Ibushi.
I see he's leaving NJPW, right?
Yeah. And it's really interesting because of the comments he made about, people who are cheaters and abusers and all these other things. It doesn't surprise me, but at the same time, I'm going to use Taka Michinoku as an example. Yeah. He was having an affair on his wife. It became very public. That kind of stuff is frowned upon in Japan, period. So they kept him on the roster because they didn't want to, just be, we're going to release you. So his punishment is for his last contracted year and the ones right before, he was working for no money. Yeah, and that was his punishment.
Kind of a rebuilding your honor kind of concept?
I guess. I don't know. That's Gato about that one.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. And also to think that the Me Too movement, it's this happens everywhere. So I don't blame him. I do kind of feel like he was promised a lot of things, like in most promotions, people are, and it didn't come into fruition. I mean, he's worked so hard to, really, and I mean, he's great. I mean, if you've ever seen him, he's amazing. That guy is there was a cartoon character back in the day. I don't remember his name, but he was Stretchy.
Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Or Mr. Plastic. Or Mr. Incredible.
No, it wasn't Mr. Incredible because it was on a TV show. So
Yeah, from the Fantastic Four.
no, it was the actual cartoon where he had a. Oh no, I'll have to Google
Gumby?
it. No, I know who Gumby is and the Blockheads
Yeah.
and
But yeah.
Pokey. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's really interesting to see that. Now, I guess the big question remains: is he gonna sign with someone else in Japan? Because Noah's not what it used to be,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think. DDT. Why would he go to DDT? No offense, but it's like, would Tony pick him up?
What?
But
Go ahead.
I think if he did, he tried to do all this golden lover shit again because Tony likes the
Yeah.
whatever, and I know people wouldn't mind it, all those weird fangirls and boys, but I don't know because he doesn't strike me as someone who wants to move out of
America.
Japan,
Yeah.
to move to America. Yeah.
I mean, he's also been on top for a really long time. He might be able to just be able to walk away at the same time. He can maybe get into movies out there. Like, I don't know how it works. What about... I've seen a lot of people say that they think that this should effectively close the forbidden door, that there's a lot of stuff coming out about NJPW that seems to be negative. I don't know much about that, so I was hoping you could dig in a little bit. Because Splinter Fox says in the chat, he says it turns out all wrestling companies have a dark side. And he also brings up the point that could Kota even actually sign with AEW if AEW just remains so linked to NJPW? He might not want to be with a company that's associated with NJPW to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can give a little more light on that I don't know.
Well, I think that with New Japan, I know a lot of people who were newer to New Japan when AEW in those days, when that was coming around. It was like, why don't they have women? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was not no. There's in the Japanese culture, I believe, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know, but there's a certain kind of level of respect. So it's more of, if you really look at it, it's more of that's something, women and men do not mash like that.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at the women who are or were in New Japan, they're always a valet. Shout out to the bunny, Tokyo Pimp's girl. And if you can believe, she is engaged to Bad Luck Fale. You go, Fale. What
Yeah.
a hot wife. Oh, future wife. Anyways. But I think that it is kind of scary that everyone has their secrets and it's coming out. I'm waiting for Tony, all his secrets to come out. He'll probably just open his mouth and the garbage will flow. But I think with New Japan now,
Always does.
they have it's true. It's true.
The irony of that happening the same week that they did a Dark Side of the Ring parody too. It's funny.
It's like, okay, dude. But no, I think that if anything, he's going to, I think with New Japan, I think that it's going to end up being where they're going to look at seeing, did the former president of New Japan, was he hiding things and covering? So that's where I'm wondering. Because if it's been going on for years, which it seems it has, is that the issue? So I question that, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah, and Spinner Fox says in the chat that he was even saying that there's Yakuza roots, which is a little crazy to say out loud, kind of a deal. So we'll see.
And if you notice, Suzuki hasn't really been wrestling it with New Japan too.
That's true. He left. He was supposed to go back, went back, and came right back.
That's
a really good point. He was not there long at all when he went back, because it was so long in farewell when he stopped his U.S. tour. I think it was in October, and then he came right back. No, it started in October. I forget when it ended, but still, he came right back.
Jay White hasn't been back over there. He's making fun of people who sucked on Ring of Honor.
That's funny. We'll talk about that here in just a second. I do want to give a proper introduction to our guest drinking buddy. We'll see how he flows with Miss Amanda Jane. We got Shakes NYG, Shakes Montana. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Ref? How you doing, Miss Amanda?
I'm doing good.
Looking very beautiful.
She's like, oh, you noticed.
Extra voice on the side, off camera, producer lady.
Yeah, that's our producer lady over there.
Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, apparently Marsh is producing today, and
hey,
yeah, this is the reason why we're still on episode 1.
We're still on episode 1. We'll get it figured out. We can't get to episode 2 till we do episode 1 right. So, for 3 years or so, we've been working on getting episode 1 right. So, we'll keep it going. Episode 1 again. Shakes, have you been keeping up with the news as much? Did you see all the Kota Ibushi stuff, or are you more in tune with the content of the shows than the news that's out there?
More into the content like AEW, and I'll check out Ring of Honor here and there, but not such a fan. But I follow it, so I can keep up.
No, yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, good news is there's not a ton of fans of Ring of Honor anyway. What about Impact? Do you watch any of Impact?
Right. I used to. I just don't know what direction they're going to now. They have all these creative. They're going back to like that '90s style of wrestling, right? Where you got like the boogeyman and all that type of stuff. So that's what I see with them doing over there in TNA, and I'm just not with it. It's new age thing.
I got you. We try to keep up, especially on Thursdays. We try to keep up with what's at least going on, even if we're not watching the shows in general. Like, we haven't caught Impact in a while, but we pretty much know what's happening. We haven't caught NWA in a long time, but we keep track of who's going on. Plus, I mean, if it's Matt Cardona, then we're involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're like.
Dude,
And well, I like to follow wrestling, y'all. As you know, I was on a show yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm all into it, so
yeah,
I'm,
sure.
I'm ready to learn what y'all got to say about indies.
Nice.
What's
And you
going
you're in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in Baltimore.
In the chat, Grim Reaper says, "Hi Shakes, love the hat and the Saquon jersey."
Appreciate it. Big Blue.
Yeah. Yeah. Grim Reaper is East Coast. He comes on from time to time too. You might meet him eventually. And Splinter Fox says, "Oh, fresh meat." Splinter Fox is our resident troll, but he's good-hearted. He means well. He said, in fact, has their own quote special fans out there.
He's definitely a troll.
Yeah, we do. Speaking of Impact and Ring of Honor. So, as we know, Jay White's been over at Impact lately.
Yeah, he's doing a bunch over there.
What's going on with him and the whole Bullet Club?
I'm sorry. Can y'all excuse me 1 second?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there with whatever, but I guess apparently he was having a little Twitter war with another member of the Impact family.
Yeah.
My favorite, not Matt Taven. And and what shut him up finally, Matt Taven, was Jay White had said, well, at least I didn't destroy a full company and have it go out of business.
That's funny.
Talk about salt. I love you, Jay White. I love him.
Taven was the champ when they stopped it, right? Or was he the champ right before it?
Who? Matt Taven?
Taven, yeah.
No, that had moved on. Okay.
Because he was champ for a while, right?
He lost it to Roosh.
Yeah, okay.
I was there that night, but I got injured, so I didn't see the match and I couldn't boo him. And so, but yeah, no, he did it. That was that night was Boa, Battle of Amanda. And the weird thing was they had that not even open the show. It was the dark match. It was Jeff Cobb versus Brody King. What the I don't understand that one. So, and they had a hell of a match.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
Sprinter Fox says Jay's a savage, says he's top 5 wrestler. Ring Scoop says, howdy folks, hope y'all are having a good night. Always a pleasure to see Ring Scoops in there. And so cheers to you. And Splinter Fox says Matt got the title due to all the people going to AEW.
No, No, he lost it to Roosh. I was there.
Yeah, but he got it because all the people went to AEW is what he's saying.
No, he didn't. He wasn't supposed to be in that picture. That was supposed to go to the man behind me on my background.
He wasn't there either, right? Because that was when he got pulled, right?
He was there. He got screwed over. That was there were only 2 people for that show in Madison Square Garden that they hyped up that were going to be there, definitely. Marty and Okada. Everyone else was just kind of added into wherever. And that's what they were supposed to do, Ring of Honor, was if he was staying around for them, they were going to give him the belt. Well, didn't happen. Somebody, Bully Ray, and I blame you, buddy, he's the one who couldn't put a kibosh on that because Taven's one of his guys, and that happened. And that was the downfall of Ring of Honor.
Yep.
Because,
Well,
that
was the first downfall of Ring of Honor.
Well, that show had like 2.
At least 2.
At least 2.
Tony buying it was another downfall.
That's what I was going to ask. Because that was my question. Because I'm not such a huge fan of Ring of Honor, but I do know that Tony Khan bought him. And so is they trying to merge Ring of Honor and AEW into one, or what are they doing?
Not exactly. Tony's insinuated. Maybe you can tell me what he said, if he said anything about it on Swerve's podcast. But on the calls he had, or not the calls, but the media scrums after some of the pay-per-views, he made it sound a lot like he was imagining it similar to NXT, that it would be a training ground for people to come up to. It might even end up being a studio show like Dark Elevation is right now. Amanda, did he say anything about it on the Swerve pod?
He more mentioned a lot of the alum that worked for AEW. So Samoa Joe, Punk, those people. But I have a feeling that even though, because Tony's one of those kind of people that, he'll say all these things and has some really great ideas, but they don't come into fruition. Or 2, there's a motive that he doesn't want you to know. And I think really the obvious motive was he wanted the collection, the library of old Ring of Honor.
I think he wanted. I think he wanted the collection to sweeten the deal for anybody who tries to buy streaming rights for AEW. He can say plus a 20-year catalog, because as it stood, he's got a 3-year catalog, only 4 pay-per-views a year. Like, that's not a lot. That's not a lot to sell a streaming service to. So for him to say we got 20 years of back catalog on not only AEW current stars, but past WWE stars and current WWE stars, like it definitely sweetens the deal for a streaming deal. That's the only reason I think he got it.
Absolutely. What did you... don't lie. The other reason too is because he knew Vince wanted it too. Don't lie. Come on now.
Yeah, because what I heard from rumors was that Shane was trying to get Ring of Honor.
I think that's a joke.
Oh.
I think people were joke. I think so. I think it was a joke on the whole WCW takeover. There is a McMahon on the contract,
right?
Kind of a deal. Although I wouldn't have been against it, man. If Shane and Triple H bought Ring of Honor and said, "Let's start this son of a bitch on our own right,"
done something. They could have done something with it.
Marsh, since you're into graphics, what did you think of the new graphic?
The new ROH logo?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a toilet brand. I could see that right in the middle of a urinal towards the bottom. You know where they put the B sticker? I could see that little ROH logo right there because it's nice and simple, not too distracting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It probably is the dude from 1 Hour Tease that did it.
Now, I will say that was what was positioned in the paperwork, the trademark stuff. They don't usually put finalized graphics in those.
Oh.
So typically it's an idea, and it's a more or less kind of concept that goes up there. So hopefully by the time we see it, it is much more flushed out. If not, it's flushed out enough to me. Like it's.
Oh man. Okay. Oh God, Tony Khan, come on.
Spinner Fox says, I bet he's waiting to get a TV deal before he can get ROH back on track. I don't think he has any intention of getting ROH on track at all. I think that he wants it to be his little... it's just one more one more sandbox for him is my impression. He goes, I would love to see ROH on HBO Max or Paramount Plus, whichever subscriber company stays from the merger. Dude, that merger is crazy stuff too, because there's not a good reason to keep a wrestling program if you don't want a wrestling program. And that's not to say that AEW doesn't in its own right belong or isn't successful. The reason that WCW went away is because there was a merger and the top guy said, I don't want wrestling on my show. When that happened, we said, I don't want wrestling on my channel. They cut it, even though WCW at the time was profitable and was getting better viewership than AEW is getting now, more consistently, even when we talk about like the dark era of WCW. So I'm just saying that it doesn't take anything but one dude at top saying, I don't want that on my channel. I'd be curious to see if that happened, how Tony could shop it around, but it's going to be curious.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm just surprised that Ted Turner has stuck his nose back into the wrestling business after WCW.
What do you mean? With AEW?
Because I mean, bringing AEW to TNT and TBS, I was surprised that he even went back into that type of thing. Because that war, he really lost to Vince McMahon. And if y'all know, rich people, man, they don't like to lose to another rich person.
Yeah, and
This is
totally
true.
have another rich person trying to, tell him what to do.
Yeah, they got to one-up
Yes,
each other.
Mm-hmm.
but historically speaking, the reason TNT lost WCW is because that was when Ted Turner got bought out. That was actually Ted Turner's exodus from Turner's company. So he's no longer part of Turner Broadcasting. AOL Time Warner is. Ring Scoops also brings up a good point of not only did he not want wrestling on the network because it was the new person, it was the person who replaced Ted. Ted wanted it because he wanted it. The new guy said, I don't want it because I don't want it. He goes, it was also wrestling that they owned themselves. He goes, this time around, the network doesn't even own it, which they don't. They're leasing AEW. He's like, so it would be an even easier decision. So if it's not bringing in the right numbers, it'd be really easy. I'm not saying they should by any means. I'm not saying here it is. I'm just saying, to me, it's worth keeping an eye on because it doesn't take much, like you said, for a rich person to say, I'm done losing money somewhere,
Absolutely.
Cinemax says there's tidal waves going on about this merger. They're talking about replacing the Flash actor. Yeah, they already announced they're going to cut $3 billion right away. I mean, if you're trying to cut $3 billion and you're spending $500,000 an episode on a wrestling program that has people up in arms half the time, like, I don't know, maybe.
He did address that a little bit.
What do you say?
Well, I don't know how that part of the conversation started, but he did mention, with their fans, we have the best fans. And I know that there was mention of, why, but they argue all the time with everybody. They're so critical. So then he's like, well, that just means they really enjoy it. No. What was really interesting about this podcast is half the time he couldn't look at Swerve or I can't remember who co-hosts with him. He wasn't even looking at them. His eyes were shut. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's the drugs wearing off, Tony. What's going on? So, and he said some really weird things. Like he went on about, how when he started AEW, his father didn't want him to start it because it was a waste of money. But then his father was like, well, you and your sister are inheriting all of this. So if you want to blow your money, you're going to blow your money. And then now that they were successful 3 years later, he's like, oh, I was wrong. And I'm like, yeah. But I'm like, if you really look at it, I mean, has he gotten his return on investment? I say no. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tony's never even pretended he has. He just keeps saying, I have money. He goes, I can lose money forever and not run out of it. And you're kind of like, well, that's not the argument you want to make if you're business-minded, I would assume. I mean, I'm not business-minded. I don't even understand contracts. But...
That's true. That's your shtick.
Shakes, what's in your glass?
Just water, man. Trying to detox myself, I guess.
It's late for him. It's where he's located.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I drink late at
It
night.
really is. It's like 11 o'clock here. What time is it for y'all?
Yeah, it's almost 8 over here.
Almost 8. Yeah.
Yep. Although Spin Fox does approve of you, he likes you more than Sports Beer. Just for the record, he put that out there.
Oh, wow.
He said
Oh,
it. He
that's,
said it.
That's because Sports Beer can't stand him.
Sports Beer got mad at him. He got mad at him.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
My guy.
Wow.
I'll let him know that too.
I'm saying
Yeah, Beard. I'm
Yeah.
a fan favorite now.
Just don't tell him who your favorites are, because then he'll start talking shit about them.
It depends on who your favorites are.
You know
But
what?
He doesn't talk shit on my Bailey. Not one bit.
Well, he talks shit about Pete Dunne, and he knows it gets me riled up.
Yeah, well, now has he talked shit about Butch, though? I don't know. There's a difference.
All right.
Was there any other news you wanted to hit or anything special from that podcast before we just start talking about some AEW stuff?
No, not really, to be honest. They, it is your typical like Tony Khan kind of thing, and hey, whatever. Oh yeah, by the way, Splinter Fox, were you trying to butter me up with your little Colt Cabana emoji waving? That was a good touch.
It was a nice touch. It'll work. The other thing that he mentioned, and Splinter Fox mentioned it before, and I didn't hit it, but and Ring Scoops has been here too, talking about Ted Turner, talking about Ring of Honor logo looking like some Fiverr shit. So I don't want Ring Scoops think I'm ignoring him. It's been making me giggle off to the side. But he's talking some smack on the old Carney Khan. But Tony said in that interview that they don't train talent there, which is an interesting thing to say for someone who's starting an organization with young talent, who also brought in the Nightmare Factory, who has a faction named after the Nightmare Factory, which is based off the idea that they're training new talent.
It shows.
It definitely shows, but it was a really interesting thing to say, because now it comes across as, look, we tried training people. We don't think we're very good at it, and we're just going to take people who are already trained, which is an interesting approach.
Well, okay. See, when he said that, three people I thought of immediately in my head. Jade Cargill, and he actually was like, I can have an answer to that. I'm like, oh, you do? Okay. It's because she was such a great athlete before, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. You must be listening to some old, like JR back in the day, like, they like football players and all this crap, because just because you're a great athlete does not mean that you're going to be a great wrestler or have the charisma. I mean, it's taken her a long time to get comfortable. Like, now I think she's comfortable. But, I mean, when she first showed up with Shaq, no, not at all. I thought Shaq was better, but that's my opinion anyway.
I would say that she's had more charisma than she's had in-ring ability, and it's been really heavy the one way, where it's like she's all charisma, which there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, that was all of Goldberg's career. Like, I didn't feel like they did a good job protecting her, though, the way they could have, to make it not obvious to us, because we're watching it, seeing someone struggle for 15 minutes in the ring, and you go, why don't you just give her 3 minutes to get right? Like, protect her a little bit while she's learning. So there's that too.
And Paige Van Zandt, that's another one.
Yep, she's training, but she's not training with AEW. She's training with Gangrel.
Really? That's interesting.
Who also said in an interview that she's doing it for the money.
I like that they're being very transparent with their intentions.
Yeah.
Someone asked him what it was like training her, and he goes, I think she's just doing it because of the money. He goes, I got some pretty impassioned students, and he goes, I don't want to say she doesn't have passion. Like, he walked it back a little bit, but up front he was kind of like,
You go, Gangrel.
okay,
get that money.
Her intentions.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, it kind of is what it is. Oh, and the other thing,
I don't think that's bad either. A lot of people, especially back in the day, you only got into wrestling for the money for a long time. Now people aren't, and now it's weird that fans don't want someone who's business-minded about it. You wouldn't have had Stone Cold or Undertaker if you didn't have somebody who wanted to be in the business to make money.
John,
end of story.
I think,
go ahead.
in my opinion, I think it's because as a fan, you want to know that that person is just as passionate as you are.
Yeah.
I mean, as fans, we are very passionate fans. We go to these events and we scream and lose our voice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it should mean that much. If it means that much to us, it should mean that much to you. And you should be one of us that grew up loving this, and so much that you say, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Not someone that says, oh, I just want to be here for the paycheck. You're not going to get their all.
No.
I mean, sometimes, right? There have been some legends who started out just trying to make money and then get that so I don't know.
Yeah, and the passion comes. AJ Styles has said it. Well, he didn't grow up watching wrestling. He wasn't a fan of it at all. But as soon as he got in it, he started loving it and became an indie superstar. And now look at him, like, yeah, he. But I think he also got to a point where he was also doing it for the love of it, and I think people respect that too, because it wasn't just money. It wasn't like Brock coming into a developmental deal at like $250,000 a year, and it was his first time seeing the ring, you know. But
and that can kind of drain you too. Like, for example, Sasha Banks, right? Like, she grew up, like she studied the business, like since she was a little girl. So it means so much to her. And y'all see the things that she goes through. Like, she has to take her mental breaks. You know, I think it's draining when you really put so much all into something and you're so passionate about it.
yeah,
It's very draining.
yeah.
It's
Fox
pros
does
and
say,
cons about everything. I'm
I
sorry.
agree.
Go ahead.
Fox says that he subs to Colt. That's where he got that, Amanda. Ring Scoops is in there saying he would do it for the money. He subs to Colt. Yeah. He says, Ring Scoop says he would do it for the money. He said he would take a hundy for an uppercut from Mike Tyson. I'm here for it. I'll tune in.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ring Scoop says Batista was there just for the pay at the start, and he grew to kind of enjoy it. Also started out late in life like Boogeyman. Bailey is one of us. Splinter Fox says, Ring Scoop says, my run on the Indies was the other way. I got in first because of the passion, but bullshit politics made me lose it and just wanted to earn some dollar. Well, yeah, he was an announcer for a long time.
Batista, he's probably making, well, at least 100 times more than what he probably ever made in WWE with.
Probably.
Oh, Batista's bank. He's bank.
Yeah, no, with Guardians. I'm like, come on, dude, you're in a ride at Disneyland. Or Disneyland, because they don't have a Disney World.
It does make you think, though, about those ones that you mentioned, even, like, because we know Jade Cargill is learning from, like, Dustin Rhodes, I think, is a big part. Dustin Rhodes has been training Tay Conti and Anna Jay. We know Paige is training with Gangrel. I wonder if their learning curve is strictly up to them. If Tony Khan's signing them, well, I need you here at this TV, and they have to take it on themselves to find a location to train in a way they want to learn. As opposed to WWE that says, come into our training facility and we will teach you what we do here. Tony's like, you better fucking find a way to get better at it because I'm paying you to be here on Wednesday.
You're like a true contractor in that sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was the other thing, too. Speaking of Tay Conti.
I think that's what... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, of course, you know, Tony, he's like, oh, you know, it was my idea. No, dude, everything that comes out of, you know, there is your idea. Yeah, I'm like, don't say that. But he was like, you know, oh, you know, she's great and he's great and they're just such a cute couple off screen. I thought it would work well, but everybody hates it. They hate them. You can blame me for that.
I'm sure people hate them backstage too.
I know people hate them backstage.
God. Wow.
All right.
I'm not going to name names. But
probably not. Probably best not.
No. I'm blocked by Sammy. I've been blocked by him for years, but
that's a good point.
He did himself.
That's true.
He did
that's
himself, by the way.
I don't know if you have heat with any wrestler, Shakes. She's blocked by Sammy. I hate Shawn Spears. It's kind of an ongoing thing.
Oh, yeah. And tomorrow, got to shout out and plug this.
Okay.
If you have IWTV, Independent Wrestling TV, tomorrow is obviously a West Coast Pro Night. I will be there. You will hear me. My least favorite person in the world is wrestling.
Ocean Spray.
Ocean Spray. Yeah.
Ocean
so
Spray.
I've actually told one of our commentators, James Kincaid, shout out to you, James. He listens to us every once in a while. I said, how much can I pay you to call him Ocean Spray during the match? And he goes, you don't have to pay me anything. Now you put that seed into my head.
Great.
So I'm like, yay. But I think there's 3 people that I know of definitely that are booing him, but I am the loudest because if you go back and watch the Super J Cup in San Francisco, at the beginning of the match, he's going back and forth with someone really loud. Wonder who that is.
Oh my God, Amanda.
Yeah. But remember, everybody, I subscribe to there's 3 things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and Squirrel beats Osprey.
That's true. That's true.
That's all.
We do have one question from Ring Scoops, and then we'll get into the shows. Ring Scoops says, question for y'all. Who's the weirdest block you got? Mine is Dixie Carter. Ring Scoops got blocked by Dixie Carter, which is funny. To be honest, the only people I've come across that has blocked me are some hardcore AEW fans, and it makes me laugh. I have no idea who they are.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
But I saw someone responding to a tweet, and I didn't know what it was, and I went and clicked on it. It said, this person has you blocked, and I was like, all right.
Cool.
Yeah, perfect.
you know how many wrestlers have me blocked?
Everybody
oh
loves
God.
me.
I have a fan club, and then I have people who hate me. So my hater club consists of Sammy Guevara, Oshikai, Jonathan Gresham. Let me think of who else. I'm trying big names. Nick Aldis. Let's see here. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
I think Corbin has me muted, but he doesn't have me blocked.
That's because I think you spoiled a surprise, possibly.
It was not a surprise. It was booked on the show.
Okay, well...
He was in a feud with Roman Reigns. I ended up in an airport with him, and I made a tweet saying, I just spotted Baron Corbin. He's on his way to Phoenix. Roman better watch his ass. And then I made a comment saying, like, I'll wait to bow to the king at SmackDown. And then that was it. He's never liked or seen any of my tweets ever since.
It might have been too much.
I was wearing a Bailey shirt at the time.
Well, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, you probably freaked him out.
Yeah, you can't spoil that.
We freaked him out. He's bigger than me.
Okay.
Was he scared of me?
Oh,
what am I going to do to him?
Taven?
Golden Gloves guy. He could have knocked me the fuck out.
There's some weirdo people out there. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdo
A
people out
lot
there.
of weird.
Yeah, and then just a bit of trivia. Colt's blocked me before.
Really?
Why did he block me? So, true story. First, Double or Nothing at StarCast. A lot of friends who went to that, and over 100 people went up to him and was like, "Why did you block Amanda? You need to unblock her." And he already had. It was like, I think I was on block for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And he goes, I unblocked her already. He goes, they're like, no, you shouldn't be blocking her. All of a sudden I get, a little slide into the DM, and it's like, boy, you know a lot of people. And I goes, I had 100 people at least come up and tell me not to block you. And I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because everyone knows you're one of my favorites. Yep. And it upset a lot of people besides myself. But, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
what's that?
Back. Yeah, they had your back. Yeah, and everyone just loves shakes, so I think we're good. You guys want to talk some AEW?
I have no problems.
Yeah. What about anybody from the NFL block you?
No. Everybody loves me, man.
All right.
Everybody loves me. How can you hate me? How can you hate me? You gotta be a bad person to hate me, man.
Well, who also blocked me was the San Francisco Giants. But that's okay because I hate them. They're trash.
Amanda, you have no filter. This is why everyone blocks you.
The entire Giants. You made it sound like the entire team collectively, one at a time, blocked you, is what it sounded like. The entire San Francisco Giants and their Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Like, wow, Willie Mays blocked me. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, is it because I wanted to go to your statue and put green and gold, streamers and wet it so it's hard to take off?
See, Amanda,
This is the problem.
Yeah.
We didn't do it because someone told me that, you would go to jail and rot there.
Okay.
All right. Well, on Rampage, was there anything on there that you told me specifically I had to watch Jay Lethal versus, let me pull up his name so I can say it right, Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah. Not Takeshita. You're like trying to say
Takeshita.
That's what it says. I'm reading out loud.
You're not doing that right. There's no way you're doing that right. Amanda, how is it pronounced?
It can't be right.
Takashita or
It's probably Sheeta.
It says take shitta.
It's
Tashita,
probably
yeah.
Sheeta. Yeah.
Not shit. All
right. What? I'm reading out loud.
You're horrible at it.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hooked on phonics did not work for you.
Wonder if that's still around. It's all Baby Einstein now.
It is,
So I watched this
probably.
match. I let the show play through for the most part with the sound off. Baker and Hayter against Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. Firstly, the crowd, this entire thing with the sound off, that crowd wasn't moving for anything. They were just a dead crowd. Were they making noise at all? Because I saw 3 people clap politely for a couple of spots, but they were all sitting there sideways. They're like down low. They're just like, fuck.
Well,
It's like an 11-hour recording thing, right?
Yeah, they probably were on and especially because I don't think they opened the doors before Dynamite.
Oh,
So already East Coast, that's a long haul.
yep.
If he came out here, which he doesn't, that's different because we can withstand that. And like the people in LA, it's like we can do a freaking bola, which is like 14 hours almost on the last day. So if you can do that and it's hotter than Hades' room, you can do almost anything. That was back in the Reseda days. But yeah, no, the crowd was awful. It was even awful during Dynamite.
Yeah. All right. I just noticed they were dead. So I that match was okay. I thought, you guys can tell me what you thought about it, but then I kind of just let it play through. I fast forwarded through the Owen Hart tournament, and then I watched Jay Lethal. Was there anything happen in those first 3 matches that you guys want to talk about? I'm glad Ruby Soho is finally getting some TV time.
That's what I was going to say. And I think that, is it a good thing? Well, yeah, always. But
Yeah.
it was like when she came around, it was like, woo, 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 hype, vanished. And that's why I hate some of these people who are coming over. The only ones that seem to be staying on a regular basis are those big names he's paying big money to.
Yeah.
So.
Adam Cole, baby.
Okay, that's the only time people were active on that show.
That's when they wake up.
When Adam Cole came out. And did
That's the only time it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
They like to interact. But
Yeah.
they won't.
And it's not a lot of interaction with AEW. It's
No.
more wrestling. It's more wrestling.
Yeah, but their fans they have are really kind of weird because I think that these are probably the first time they've come out from their cave or whatnot,
Yeah.
just being, seeing, how they act on, on Twitter and social media.
So,
But I'm not saying, that I'm not saying that I'm.
Can I speak on it?
Yeah.
Just from my experience, because they just did 2 shows in Baltimore. I'm not sure if y'all knew that.
Oh, yeah, I do.
know that.
I did not know they was coming to town. And I'm
They
like,
always
where is
are
the
in Baltimore.
promotion?
They always are in Baltimore.
AEW?
I hate when companies-
I've never seen they saying AEW is coming to town. They need more promotion because, like, for example, you will watch a TV show and you will catch WWE. Oh, they're coming to your town. Come now. Get your tickets now.
They do that.
You don't see that with AEW. I don't
No,
see
they
it.
do.
I don't see
Excalibur.
it. Not here.
Yeah,
Not
Excalibur
here.
does it. That's Marsh's
he's
favorite
saying
commentator.
he's saying
He
you'll
does
see it on something else, though. Like,
Yeah.
he's saying you'll be watching a different show, like local news, and it'll break in. Hey, this show, they're coming to town.
Yeah.
I got an email.
exactly.
I got 3 emails 2 days ago because WWE was going to Phoenix and Tucson, and I was alerted by both the venues and WWE.
Exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't get that with AEW. And that's
'Cause
why
the-
when they come to town, I'm like, oh, they was here?
Yeah, they
Because
make you have
because
to-
the venues know that I've bought tickets for WWE events at those shows before.
Right.
So anytime they come through again, they're like, "Hey, WWE's coming back. You want to keep
Right.
buying?" And WWE must have eyes on me. Because they were right away. Hey, you're gonna want to know we're coming by again. Okay.
Right.
Well,
They hit me
well,
up when
also
they in DC.
Yeah.
there's been a smaller promotion too that I felt like when they were starting up, the locals didn't know about it because they were just like, man, like where's the promotion? And it's just like, you guys got to market like to the people in the locations.
So did you end up missing AEW in Baltimore?
Yep. Both shows.
Oh.
And my
Damn
nephews
it.
killed me. They looked at me like,
You know,
That sucks.
They blocked you on Twitter. Like, that's it.
And
"Yeah,
this
right,
this
my
goes
own nephews."
this goes to show how, like, you can't assume that every single fan is gonna be a super fan, following every single social media and yada yada. Like, come on, there are gonna be some casual fans that might actually want to support you locally.
Also, in defense of Excalibur saying that they're coming to a town near you, sometimes they're just promoting the site, saying, hey, go to AEW Tix and see where we're coming. They don't always list the cities they're coming to. And secondly, in defense of Excalibur, a lot of people turn off the commentary for AEW full stop. I've heard a lot of people tell me that they love the show, but they turn down the commentary because either Rampage has Jericho being as annoying as possible. A lot of people are getting frustrated with they're frustrated with JR, which to me JR is my favorite.
Yeah, I love JR.
He makes me laugh every time I
don't
watch
understand.
AEW.
I don't understand that with Dynamite. I like the commentary. Now Rampage, I can understand that. Nothing against Chris Jericho, but it's like, okay, you are in the ring. You are in ring competitor, and now you're commenting on somebody you've got to wrestle next week. It just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's too regular for that. Yeah,
Starkey does
and
that too.
I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, Stark is on there too, and I've seen a lot of people complain about Shivani too.
Shivani.
I noticed one week when I left the commentary on a couple weeks ago that he said the most superfluous stuff every time. Good point, JR. Oh, wow. Like, it was the weirdest kind of like NBA Jam style commentary. Where he's all like, none of that means anything, Tony. Boom shakalaka. Okay. Thanks, Tony. It was like, he didn't bring anything. But, yeah,
I do like it.
You know what I found weird with it? Do you know what I find weird with it? When William Regal comes along, right? And he calls him the man with the mask. You know, and I'm like, you just gonna let him just call you that? Like, you have a name, the man with the mask. And they just go on with their conversation like he didn't just dismiss your whole name, bro. Like, that's what's weird to me.
But I'm petty. I'm petty, and I love it because I'm so annoyed every time it cuts to the desk and I see Excalibur with his mask on. Because for one, I think the mask is goofy looking to begin with. Like, the eyes are really close to each other, so it looks like a tiny face on a big mask. And it's completely without reason or explanation. Like, he's always been this masked guy on commentary, and they don't ever talk about it. He barely talks about when he wrestled in the past anyways. So I find it really weird. So for me, I love when Regal sits down. As soon as I see Regal come out, I turn the commentary up because I was like, I want to hear him bash on Excalibur. It's going to be funny.
Man with the mask.
Yeah.
No, but, you know, even will say this. When JR gets really salty, he's probably a little tipsy. That's the best. The other one that I really like is on Dark. Yeah. You have Excalibur and Taz. And sometimes those two, it's like they don't give a fuck. And it's hilarious. And that's why I like watching that, because the two of them, the banter, it's great. You know? Yeah. And Mark Henry and Big Show are doing pretty well.
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, with Dark, you know, the other U2 show. But I definitely think that, you know, they were just to see the commentary, you know. Oh,
Tony, because Tony said on the past, he said we don't have a performance center, we have Dark and Dark Elevation. He said that's where they train people. So for him to say, we're not training people anymore, it's kind of,
okay, here's what he also said. He said, they swerved like, oh, you're gonna bring Ring of Honor on, you know, on TV, and he goes, well, no, I mean, because that would be 7 hours of TV. I'm like, are you not counting your internet wrestling too, dude? That'd be more like 10, 11 hours.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yep.
And it's gonna be the same people over and over again. So come on now.
I'm going to catch up on the chat here real quick. Splinter Fox did mention that he asked Colt in one of his Twitch streams why AEW didn't shout out that he was on Young Rock, and he said he has no idea. Colt said he didn't know, so he thinks that Colt might be upset with AEW.
No. Why would he be upset with AEW? The guy makes $1 off of each shirt.
Whether he's there or not, he's making $1 off
He's
each
not
shirt.
it doesn't matter.
But he can be annoyed with them and still make money off them. Scoop says he's not hooked on Phonics, but he's hooked on Chronic. Very good. Spinner Fox liked Jay and Take Shitta. He liked Rhea and Yuka. Scoop says if you dodge a wrench, you can watch AEW, which is true. Also, Raj Giri from Wrestling Inc. said that because he tunes in early for AEW Dynamite, that it's made him a big fan of Big Bang Theory, which comes on right before AEW, and he'd never watched Big Bang Theory, but now he like always catches it, and I thought that's the most anti-AEW thing I've ever heard. Like, that's gonna make me stop watching. If you're gonna tell me I'm gonna end up liking Big Bang Theory by the end, well then I'm done here.
No thanks.
That's why I stream, so then I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Me too, sister.
There you go. Spinner Fox says he noticed the AEW crowd doesn't enjoy women's wrestling very much. He goes, it pisses him off, changing a lot, and he's not liking it, where AEW's direction is. You stay on Twitch. He's talking about Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ring Soup says there's one plus about WWE's Performance Center. People learn how to work a camera and develop character. Ring Soups also gets emails from everything coming through San Diego. Spinner Fox says 3 fucking emails about WWE coming to New Mexico. I was like, the fuck, blocked. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's what I'm saying. At least they tell you they're coming. Shakes is at home going like, that's up the road. What the fuck just happened?
Exactly.
You need to
Wait,
go.
what?
I think
Like looks through his blinds and can see the fireworks. He's like, "Come, God, is Cody coming out?"
I seen a neighbor on TV like, wait a minute.
Well, you know that I think it's
Awful.
AEW Tips. There's a newsletter. It comes out every Wednesday of Dynamite.
I'm not following that shit. I'm sorry. I got a life and work and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well,
who
you know
has
what?
time?
Okay, you know why I get the newsletter? Because they have the pre-sale codes for the shows. You know, I'm
Yeah,
still
you're
going to
super-
get English, but
You're like super dedicated.
Yeah, you're
Props to you,
dedicated.
but I can't keep up with all that shit.
I wanted to know when I wanted to know these codes because when I was toying with going to Rampage and Dynamite in Vegas, which I sold my tickets. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, by the way, Marsh, your buddy has not
Hard pass.
he's not accepted the transfer of the tickets. Yeah.
Did he give you money?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the money. He just hasn't taken the tickets?
No.
Dude, sell them again. No, I'm kidding. I'll message him. I'll tell him.
I don't do that, okay? I don't do that. I don't even
Tell him he's
charge
got to go in
people
there and
for it.
accept it.
I pay face value.
Grim Reaper brings up a really good point. He says AEW needs more West Coast tours. In the immediate future, East Coast crowds are getting tired of it.
Yep.
And Ring Scoops and Spinner Fox both say he's on fire. Talking NBA Jam.
Well, Splinter Fox, next time you go on Colt's stream, you should say, have you blocked Amanda lately?
Yeah. Better unblock Amanda. Spinner Fox says Excalibur won't say shit to Mr. Regal because he'll get his mask knocked the fuck out. I could see that too. Can you imagine if fucking Excalibur's all like, say that again, Regal? And Regal's like, I would fucking love to. And just like walks over there. Boom. Let's see. I'm scrolling through a little bit of it. I think Joe and Seven Wero. Bastard still has my rake, but this time it's for AEW. Spinner Fox says producer has to keep her email clear for all the Butch fandom newsletters that come through.
Okay.
So.
I just took my headphones off. Yeah.
But let's see. The Rampage thing specifically. There was, to me personally, there wasn't a ton here except for Jay Lethal. But even then, I'm going to be honest, it felt kind of like a short match where Jay Lethal got the win, and I didn't feel like I saw a lot to make me go, oh shit, this is the dude. You know what I mean?
Keep his name in your mind.
Okay.
Because he just debuted at PWG, and he's starting to make I don't want to say the good indie circuit, but he's doing Defy, West Coast Pro.
We're good.
I think maybe Warrior Wrestling.
All right. Good.
Yeah,
That would
I
make
think
sense.
so. And probably, I think maybe Black Label Pro, maybe. No, I definitely GCW. Definitely, I think he's on the GCW too. So keep an eye out.
Has Ruby just become just a general placement lackey? Because she's only out there with Tony now, and I feel like before Tony, she was out there around someone else a bit.
Kingston.
I can't remember who.
Kingston.
Kingston,
Eddie.
yeah.
She's always like coming to help Eddie. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Rebel's there at all.
No.
I don't see what she brings to anything.
Nothing.
And I don't mean that like disrespectfully. I mean that literally she doesn't seem involved in any of the things. She's just standing around, and like they don't use her to talk much. They don't use her to wrestle. She barely interferes. Like I just don't know why she's there, except that she's Britt's friend.
Well, not only that, but before she even started getting on TV, she was like their lead makeup artist.
Oh, that could be part of it.
Yeah.
Shakes, anything on this Rampage that you wanted to talk about?
No, not really.
All right. How have you been liking AEW lately? Because I feel like I've been talking to a bunch of AEW fans and diehards, and there does seem to be a bit of a shift. And I do know that some people are saying they've felt a difference since Cody left, specifically thinking that he had much more of an influence backstage than some people were giving him credit for at the time. What overall this week and the last week or so of AEW Dynamite and Rampage, how have you been enjoying the shows?
Well, I would say I was enjoying it when they first presented it on TNT, and now it's starting to kind of get a little dull. And it's like I get it with, you get these ex WWE superstars and you bring them over there, but it's just seeming like it's just oversaturated. It's just too many, and they don't know what to do with certain guys. Like they'll have a war and it'll only last for like 2 weeks and then it's over with. We on to the next.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know what's going on here. Like I can't get invested in a battle because the next week they run another battle. I'm like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, their programs seem like they just run through. Oh, he froze up on me a little bit. He'll come back. It happened yesterday too.
I would say that MJF.
Yeah. Go ahead on MJF.
Is holding it down on us. I'm sorry, did you me?
Say it one more time.
I think he's trying to cause War Pig with War Pig. I think that's a great entertaining thing that's going on with them. And then Undisputed Era being over there. It's just that I think they wasted Undisputed Era. I was like, what are they doing with them? Like they have them on camera all the time, but they're not doing anything with them. None of them got no belts. None of them are winning anything significant. When it's a big match, they lose.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on here? So they just confusing me with what they're trying to do with all the talent that they did intake from WWE's firings.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, as much as people want to try and give credit and say that there's a long-term storytelling or that there's slow burns, I feel like there really is none that's present right now.
Yes,
I mean, not really.
What?
I even saw someone
Which
try
one?
to bring up Julia Hart and said that the Julia Hart House of Black thing was long-term storytelling. I was like, no, it's just that they came back to it 6 months later. There's a difference. You know what I mean? Like,
And they botched it.
And they botched
It feels like stockpiling, honestly.
Yeah, and it feels like he's got no finesse. Like he goes, oh, I want to see this match. Let's do the match. Okay, now that I saw it, we can move on. And it's like, no,
let's move
but
on.
Why didn't we do something to get to that? Like the Owen Hart tournament, just to get into it. You know what I mean? The qualifying matches were more anticipated than the actual matches because he started out with all the ones that he wanted to see in the tournament. Well, put him a couple brackets in. Get there in a clever way.
It's like a video game without story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say that this Dynamite, by the end of it, I just kind of turned it off. I didn't watch the main event. But you tell me, you guys, did you guys both watch Dynamite?
Oh, yeah?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
But
highlights?
See, that's what's so crazy about it. Can you remind me what was the main event again?
The main event was Jeff Hardy and Darby trying to kill themselves.
Yeah.
The fact that he had to ask that.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
But you see, that one was
And
like,
I watched it. That's what's so crazy.
You know, that one, I already knew someone was probably going to die or really injure themselves, so I had no interest whatsoever.
It was bad. I was seeing the bumps, and I was like, for what? Like, honest to God, when Darby jumped off that ladder in the ring, that 20-foot ladder, he probably jumped further and landed harder than Foley did in Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
Probably.
Like, when you think about it, he was, because the cell when Foley was in there, I think was 16 foot high. This dude was on a 20-foot ladder in the ring and went to the outside of the ring to hit chairs that didn't have give, and at least the ring had give when Foley went through. I'm just saying this to say that that bump changed everything about Mick Foley's life. It changed everything about his career path. It changed the entire motion of the match. The match was different after that bump. He hits and everything skews. Darby fell out. A minute later, they're up and jumping around and stuff. Like, no one's going to remember that bump, and it was probably more devastating to that dude's life than they're even going to allow it to breathe for. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy to me.
Yeah. I've always, and I even told Darby when I met Darby, sometimes I can't watch you because I don't want to be in the crowd and you die.
yeah.
And he was very nonchalant. Well, you know, we're all going to die. So
Oh, that's such like a 15-year-old thing to say. I swear to
know.
God.
Live
I know.
fast, die young, right?
Right?
yeah. But I was like, but I don't want to pay money and see a death like that. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, until...
It's one thing if you kill yourself doing stuff. It's another thing if you made me pay to watch you.
Watch it.
I don't want to see
That's
that.
really death match.
Yeah, I feel like that's such an adolescent thing to say until you realize like your friends are starting to go.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, can you not be that kid?
Yeah.
I would say this though, even though Darby he wrestles with recklessness, to see Sting still jump off
Oh yeah.
railings onto people at the age that he is at, I'm amazed. Like, are you serious?
Yeah,
That's like my granddad sitting here, going on top of a shelf, and then jumping on top of me. I can't see it. I can't see it.
I don't
I would
That'd
be
be
like,
pretty dope.
"Are you crazy? You're losing your mind."
Yeah,
So
but
let's
imagine what
see
your
this
nephews
guy.
would say if they saw your grandpa do that, though.
Yeah.
I
My
mean,
nephews would be like, they buy his T-shirts right away.
Yeah, and the
yeah,
action
he's a
figure
hero. He's a
Yeah.
hero.
It
But-
works.
I don't think anyone expected Sting to be doing that. I know we didn't.
We did not.
Because-
Sting said he did not. Sting said he did not.
Oh my god.
Sting said that was not in the plans. It wasn't
Well-
something he ever wanted to.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause
he
they had to
doesn't have
double-
to. He'll still get paid. He'll still get paid.
I'm
Right.
want to
That's
see
what
him
I'm
come
like.
out
Why are
with
you
Joe.
doing that? You don't have to do that no more.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's
I just-
amazing to still see you that you're still in the ring. You don't have to do what you're doing, man.
I know you're not walking like Hulk because he comes out and he's he's wobbly and you don't know if the knee's gonna give out. Like
Yeah.
It's
I
scary.
I don't like watch personally. I don't follow every week AEW, but I don't like watching any promotion where I feel like anyone's gonna die. Like that is not what I ever want to see.
Yeah,
Well-
there was some bad bumps in that one. And to themselves, they were doing it to like nothing. It was like, oh, then you get out of the way, and I'll just smash my back on a thing, and you're like, fuck, man, like.
Yeah, no.
Some of it is hard to watch.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go through a little bit.
So what did we like?
Spinner Fox does say he's got a bone to pick with MJF. Let's talk to MJF because you brought it up. He goes, I'm saying it now, he's overrated. Here's why. Every storyline is the same damn thing. Stardust stipulations, Jericho stipulations, Punk dumbass stipulations, Wardlow stipulations. By the end of 2024, WWE won't want MJF because he'll be exposed. I will say that I think that although Spinner Fox is harsh about it, I think that there's merit in the concept because I've seen people be critical that MJF is rehashing his entire storyline every time with very minimal tweaks. I've been saying for a bit that every now and again I get a glimpse of the potential that is MJF's promos. Some of the ones he cut with CM Punk were absolutely incredible. But half of the ones that he does are very typical. and he yells a lot, and then he calls the audience ugly and fat, and you go, okay. Same thing I was telling you yesterday about Edge. I was like, he just said you're dumb and ugly, and I was like, okay, like, that doesn't do anything for me. I think MJF relies too much on typical old-style street insults. Well, your mom didn't say that. Oh, he roasted him. Not really, dude. It's not really a roast.
Yeah.
But those moments where he really is able to dig in and do something with it, like he did with Punk, those are the moments where you go, oh, there's something there. This is a massive deal. He's doing this at a different level. He just doesn't do it as much as I think that he should be doing it. Those type of promos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it does, but I think for me, I feel like, and I like the MJF thing because spoiled brat, right? And to me, he is the epitome of a spoiled brat. He is a guy that is used to getting his way, and to me, that is annoying. And you want to boo that guy. You want to boo that guy. And what I told you yesterday is that is what is wrestling. You want to boo that guy. You want to be like, for example, what we was talking about with the Street Profits, how cocky and brash they are. And you like, man, you know, they putting it like they cheer for it. But really, you like, man, I really want to boo for that. Like, somebody had just, look at me. You want to boo that guy. And it's the same with MJF. You want to boo him because he is a guy that is used to getting his way, and more than likely, he's going to get his way. He's better than you, and you know it.
Yeah. He's getting what he wants. That's a good point. He does say, Splinter Fox does say the best match was Cole versus Hardwood. I'll be honest with you, knowing when I got into it that Cole was going to win, I didn't really watch it. I turned it on and was listening to some of it and was kind of doing stuff. Because honestly, Dax Hardwood should have won the whole tournament. The second I knew that he was out, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm watching here anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was deferring to Adam Cole. It was trying to make Adam Cole seem more bigger than what he was.
Making him look good.
To me in that match, it just seemed like that. You know, he was just deferring to him. That's what I see.
Okay. Well,
really, Adam Cole's not that. I don't think he's that great.
Yeah.
No,
He's good, but he ain't. Yeah.
No, but of Undisputed Era, I'm like all about, you know, Fish and O'Reilly, and they're like, I really wish we see more Red Dragon, but you know, not my promotion, so I don't, you know, I don't book these things. But
O'Reilly is he's a sleeper, man. He's very talented, and I don't think that they showcase his skills enough.
No, I don't think
for sure.
NXT, when he was on NXT, they did that either. But
the only time you really got a glimpse of it when he was doing stuff with Balor.
Yeah,
his program with Balor was the only time you really started going, oh shit, this guy's like special.
Yeah.
And then everything else has been like, he's just another guy in that program. It's been weird.
Yeah. And then he became that weird hipster.
Yeah, Jason Mraz looking guy.
Jason Mraz looking guy.
Quick question, Shakes. Do you? A lot of people get really up in arms about DQ finishes and roll up victories and stuff. Is that a point of contention for you ever?
Well, not DQs, but roll ups. I find that very cheesy and easy way to just give somebody a win. You know, like, and I get it. You know, with the backwoods and everything. You know, that's just nice and all, but to me, it's just how you gonna win every time by rolling up somebody? Like every time? Oh, I'm gonna pull this tight. I'm gonna pull this tight to make sure I get enough leverage. Like, come on, I ain't with that. But DQs, yeah, knock somebody over the head with a Kindle stick or something. Yeah. I can't beat you. I'll beat you this way. Yeah.
Don't do that there.
Because it made me laugh that the Darby Allin Jeff Hardy match ended in a roll up. all these massive bumps where they were killing themselves and each other, and then it ends with a little roll up. I was kind of like, that's funny.
That's cheap, man. That's a cheap way to give a victory, man.
Made me laugh. Definitely made me laugh. Brendan Fox does say that, because I heard someone else say this, so I'm going to bring it up. He says, as for the Owen Hart Cup, I don't think Martha cared about it. So when the camera kept panning to her, she was not interested. The tournament was a big old botch. He goes, which I saw a lot of people say is like, Martha doesn't care about this. Like, they keep panning to her, and she kept looking like disinterested. Or maybe she didn't want to see a dude fucking jump 20 feet to the ground.
To their death.
Fucking A. Like, let's see. I don't know how it could be saved. Say what, Amanda?
It's just a tournament. We don't need. It's not like.
Right.
What did they call that one? The CZW.
Oh yeah.
The tournament of death. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a tournament, so she doesn't need to be all that invested in it.
Yeah.
He said the best matches were the qualifiers. He goes, I don't know how I could save. The only way is if the Jokers are great, and he thinks that Sheeta's being replaced by Statlander because apparently Sheeta got injured and is back in Japan, so she might be done. Let's see. Spencer Fox says, I think a roll-up is needed here and there, but not at the time, and DQs could be used for heels only, not baby faces. Yeah, for sure. I think sometimes you do need roll-ups and stuff, but this was a weird one where you have a bunch of massive bumps. He takes the other guy's finish and then rolls them up. I didn't feel like that was the right spot for a roll-up, but I don't know.
And it wasn't, it's not like it was like heel in the face. I mean,
that's true.
So it's like, why do you need that?
Also, why was their match like this no DQ massive weapons match and no other Owen Hart tournament match was? I thought a tournament would have, the same rules for every match.
It's Tony's world, and you watch it.
You know what I mean?
That's all I can say with that. I didn't.
That's what he wants.
Yeah. I didn't,
Tony Storm did get the win over Jamie Hayter, so she's still one of my favorites to win that one. We'll see how that goes. Was there anything in this episode that you guys particularly loved? Dynamite? Punk? Are you about to say Punk and Johnny Hungy?
No, but it was great that I flipped, for the people listening, I flipped Marsh off. No, the people in Long Island hated him. That was
my gosh, man. That was awesome.
It was
awesome.
It was.
They booed him so loud. I never seen or heard CM Punk get booed like that ever.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So Shakes,
Long Island showed up. Long Island showed up.
You're a sports guy. Commentary, I noticed, didn't mention it at all, but supposedly the jersey that CM Punk was wearing was specific to get the crowd to boo him. What was the importance of that particular Long Islander jersey?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That's a question for Beer. You know him in hockey.
That's a good point.
But I was amazed too. Like I'm like, now if you see him Punk and you going to Long Island, I would think you would wear Chicago Blackhawks or something like that. But for him to come down with a long, the Islanders, which is right there, Long Island, it's like, okay, he's giving y'all, he's going for the crowd. He's going for his fan favorite thing, man. And to see him get booed, I was like,
are you a CM Punk guy or no?
I love that. Like, am I a CM Punk fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm a fan, but I do respect and love what he brings to wrestling. Now, you know me, like I said, I love the heels. Now, if he was a bad guy, hell yeah, I'll be his biggest fan. But fan favorite, that's why I was so happy to see him get booed in Long Island, and then so happy to see that MJF got cheered there, like he was a god.
That was the last of the troll when CM Punk got booed. Which also I wanted to bring up for those who may not have noticed it, but I noticed it. When Silver came out, the Dark Order came out, there was someone missing. And no, we're not talking about Stu Grayson.
No Cabana.
-1?
How you doing?
-1?
No, Colt Cabana. See, I tell you, that's long-term storytelling. And it will happen, people. I swear to God. And they need to bring that match to Long Island because he got booed so hardcore. So that could be a Cabana crowd. So I'm just saying. But anyways.
I thought it was weird that he used the buckshot lariat to win Punk because he also did not execute it very well.
No.
And every time he keeps copying other people's stuff, he does a bad job at it. And I think he needs to just stick to his own shit.
Yeah. His 5 moves of doom. Wait, no, he doesn't have 5 moves. He's got like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the whole roster pretty much does the go to sleep. They just call it different things. And
That's a good point, because even Danhausen does the go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about Danhausen getting his fucking ass handed to him?
That was great. That was great.
Well, that's wrong. That's so wrong. But you know what?
It wasn't wrong. It was right, because it's like, what purpose does Danhausen have?
I don't know. I don't know. He's entertaining. He's gonna put the voodoo on you. He's gonna curse you. He's gonna curse you, but it don't work on my man Hook. And that's what I liked. When Hook came down and saved him, man.
He's like, I'll help this dude.
Yeah.
Then we
gave him one and shook his hand. Yeah.
Taz was like, I don't know I don't know about my son. I have no idea. I'm like, you're gonna disown your son. Yeah.
I definitely did not understand what the point of that whole thing was, because Tony Nese has been not a player in Dynamite.
No.
Or AEW. And for them to be hyping up Danhausen as much as they have, and then finally have his in-ring debut and have him just get demolished like that, I just didn't know what it was serving, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make it like Tony Nese is just gonna just take out all your little favorite cartoonist kind of people.
No.
Do you think he'll take out
that's
Cassidy?
What they're trying to do. Hell no. Hell no.
Right.
That's a weird one. I have no idea. No. But Marsh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Forgot one very, very important match that's near and dear to my heart.
I watched no other matches. I turned it off right around.
Liar.
Towards the end of MJF's promo, I turned it off because it just takes forever. MJF takes forever to talk.
Well, I know, but you didn't see.
I saw the Dark Side of the Ring parody.
That was great.
I did not like it, but I can understand why people did.
It was hilarious. I love Barry Horowitz made it.
That was funny. Barry Horowitz is a good dude. Mm-hmm. I saw the very end. I saw the finish of Starks versus Jungle Boy, but I did not watch the match. I wanted to see how it ended, and that's what I saw.
Well, you knew how it was going to end anyway. But I will say this. I've been very privileged to see Jungle Boy wrestle when he was starting. And I always have thought when they put him with Snoozosaurus, that it was a waste. If he carries that team, anyway, and I've said that before in episode 1. And we all know my love of Starkey, and I'm glad that he's getting to wrestle on TV and not dark and whatnot. Because you got to hand it to him. He makes it really melodramatic.
Yeah.
And it's great, because that's what is really like fun with wrestling, is if you're taking everything too seriously, then sometimes it's like, that's not very believable. But I mean, hell, he, I thought it was great, but then again, I'm biased. Also, producer lady liked a comment I had on Twitter. Yeah, when you wear white trunks, and this goes for every wrestler, when you wear white trunks and you got a big old butt, it looks like a diaper. Sorry, it just does.
Can I my
Is it about his butt?
No.
Do you have a take on Ricky Stark's butt?
No.
Yeah, do you have a take on his butt?
If you have a take on his butt, now's the time. Otherwise, you can also go.
I'm good. I'm
yeah. That's my subject. I'm the Butte expert.
It's her expertise.
On Thursday. Mm-hmm.
What I liked about it was, usually when a guy comes down the ring, like trying to interfere or at least distract as a distraction, usually it helps out the guy that the guy that he's trying to distract. It goes against him. Mm-hmm. But Swerve comes down.
I didn't understand.
Right,
I didn't
right.
understand the
Swerve
Swerve thing at
comes
all.
down, and then it causes Starks to actually win the match, right? So I'm like, you came down and actually helped out the dude. Like like okay, like that was like okay, that's not what usually happens. So I like that part,
Mhm.
and then to see they add that element of Swerve, and then what's my big man name?
Keith Lee.
Uh, Keith Lee. And
Okay.
adding them and then making it seem like okay, it's gonna be a triple threat for the
Hmm.
tag team titles.
Yeah, I'm
So
not a fan of that. But one thing I was totally like, I don't know where the hell he came from because next thing I know, it looked like he popped up from under the ring was Hobbs. I'm like, where the hell did Will
yeah,
Hobbs
yeah.
come
Where the
from?
hell did he come
Yeah,
from?
I was
Yeah.
And
confused.
and then
Hobbs
and
came
then
out of
why was
nowhere, and
Out of
Swerve
nowhere.
was in there
Jungle Boy?
interfering.
Yeah,
But my question is, why
Mhm.
was Jungle Boy so distraught from
it's
that
because
loss
he's
though?
been losing a lot of big matches lately,
He was
and
distraught. It was not because he's been losing, but because if he won, then they didn't have to face Hobbs and Starks for the tag titles. Since he lost, now he's going to have to put the tag titles on the line.
now
Gotcha.
also people are saying I've heard the rumor mill that either Jungle Boy's going to go heel, which I don't think is a very good idea at all, um, or Christian is going to go heel. I don't know, but
Mm.
I don't know. But all I know is please take this belt off of Luchasaurus. He's not that good of a wrestler, and I do know that a lot of people did not understand how he got signed
Hmm.
when he kind of sucks. So if you like
What?
Lucha,
Wow.
I'm sorry.
And I kind of like the big dude, man. I think he's so big. How can you be able to move the way he moves, kick the way he kicks? I'm impressed by the big dude.
No, no, it's smoke and mirrors. Mm-mm.
Mm.
No, he's still botchy, and I think
Yeah, I feel like he missed it a
because
lot.
he knows how to now like work with a camera,
Mm.
I think that that's kind of what sells his, his kicks and things
But
like
all
that.
he does
Yeah, but
is
that's good.
go, ah. That's all he
Yeah, I know.
does.
Well, no, he did talk before
Yeah, he
the
used to have a
early days.
master's degree, remember? When he first started,
Yeah,
he was a master's in something, like
Oh
he
yeah,
still
linguistics or
has
no,
something.
I don't know. I didn't know that. I
yeah, and like
came
his
on
some
late.
kind of history. I don't know, but anyways, he was talking. Now all of a sudden he's reverted back. So I'm
Mm.
like, dude, you're awful. You're terrible. So, but
What
I was thought that on the indies too. So no big deal. But
What should we
um,
do about Ricky Starks though? Because him walking around with his FTW title kind of is making him look goofy, if I'm being honest. Because it's this title that doesn't mean anything, and he just shows up when
Means
he
nothing,
wants and
right?
pretends it does.
you know,
Does he break away from Team Taz or does he stick it out?
he should have broken away from Team Taz a while ago.
But at this
My
point, it
thing
feels a
was,
little late, doesn't it?
yeah, because my thing was I thought, okay, you're getting Hook to wrestle now. Hook, I can see Hook taking it from him,
Mm,
and Ricky
yeah,
being,
I could see that.
bratty attitude.
Yeah,
But
That
I
could be
can
it.
kind
he's
of see like
still
that belt, like the $1 million belt. I'm sorry, but
kind
yeah.
of,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I think he's still. It depends on the crowd, though.
The problem with the $1 million belt is that they did a really good job of explaining that it cost over $1 million to make, and they made it seem like a prestigious thing that someone would want of actual value. The problem with the FTW titles is it was this weird thing that Taz gave to Brian Cage one time and then threw in the towel to make him lose his match and then said, I'm demanding that they acknowledge this title. And then Cody was like, what the fuck are you doing? Go away. And then they cut the cameras. It's had such a sloppy lineage since showing up in AEW that at this point it's like, what the hell's going on? Like, I think you might be right, Amanda. I think putting it on Hook and letting it actually be a thing, because that was the other thing, is that Taz gave it to Brian Cage and said, this title should be worn by the person who's the baddest MFer or son of a bitch, I don't remember which one it was, in all of AEW. And then Brian Cage proceeded to lose all of his matches. And then he lost the match of ultimately to Ricky Starks, and he got it. But no one's saying that Ricky Starks is a bad motherfucker. He's not a bad son of a bitch. He's a prissy boy who keeps cheating to win. So it just kind of is confusing it. You know what I mean? I think,
The prissy boy in Gucci loafers, Gucci
yeah.
side. Excuse me. Um, but if anybody, I'm like, bad motherfucker is Hobbs right there.
Yep.
Now I think with Hobbs
or Hook.
Hobbs or Hook. Now I think with Hobbs, people in the back, he's got job security. He's beloved by the important people back there. Whereas I can kind of see with Ricky, he kind of annoys people. I get it. I know the guy. I get it, Yeah. But I think with him I think they waited too long to kind of develop him. Because they could have had something really spectacular with him, but they didn't do it. They dropped the ball. And it's like, you can't say, oh, well, he's doing dark and, and all this stuff. Well, yeah. But the guy, unlike a lot of people on the roster, the guy's got charisma. He can talk, his mic skills are amazing. And not only that too, but I mean, damn, some of those matches that he did do, like, the one with Darby when he got the skateboard that got slashed across his back. I mean, that was just like amazing. The way he sold that, I'm just like, you don't get wrestlers like that of that caliber who've never had the exposure. So it's like, you want to take advantage of that because he probably got him for really cheap. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know about contracts or anything, and I didn't ask about money because that's not my business. Yeah. But I do think that it's a little too late. New Orleans, it was very interesting when he wrestled Swerve. People could give a fuck less.
Yeah.
They were cheering on Swerve, and then it got to a point where, this is the hometown guy. Yeah. We have to cheer. Yeah. So I don't know.
A couple of things real quick. I mean, unless you have something to say on that, Shakes?
No.
Sprinter Fox says Christian would make a better heel. He says that they employed that thing and Jungle Boy can go on his own as long as he stays because he says he's took his spot and going home before. But he does say that Hook should win the FTW title and throw it on the ground and walk away like they did and just end the title like that, which wouldn't be that bad if I'm being honest. It's got a weird history already. And he said just like Sky put Dan in his place and told him to keep that second TNT title in the trophy case. I see that too. He says Sky is turning babyface is going to be great, make him the TNT title better. The one thing people are talking about out of that promo, though, is the fact that he brought up Tay Conti for no damn reason at all. And said that the days of the TNT title being passed around like Tay Conti backstage are over. And I thought, with as awful of a line as it was to begin with, if this is Sky's babyface turn, it's a bit weird to do in this day and age. And secondly, she had no part in any of this story at all. It was really out of nowhere. So when Tay gets online and says, bitter because I turned you down much, maybe your wife would like to know, you kind of go, maybe that happened. Like, because you brought her up for no reason. Like, it's weird.
Not married. She's stupid. He's not
Or
married.
Girlfriend, whatever. He's with somebody.
Yeah.
I just hate that. Why is this like a consistent theme with women? It's like they either have to be hoeing out backstage and we're going to bring that to light, or this is like the kayfabe story. Like, I just don't understand this storyline, how they always got to go back to this.
Yeah.
Because
it's weird.
There's nothing better to do with women, especially if you're not a very good wrestler to begin with. Let's go there.
But they did that shit with who was it?
They've been doing it with every woman as they got in there.
Yeah, I mean Ruby
Soho. Britt Baker.
Yeah, Ruby Soho said that about
Britt Baker.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's just another tired line that's I think's got to go. But
Thunder didn't get that either.
Yeah. Let's talk before I mean, it's already too late, but let's talk briefly at least about NXT. Amanda, you didn't get to see much NXT, right?
No.
Shakes, do you keep up with NXT 2.0?
I keep up with it.
Did you watch this week?
All the time.
Did you watch this week?
Don't think so. No.
It's all right. It's all right. But what I will say is that the last 2 weeks have been surprisingly solid because they have like their ups and downs a lot. Mm-hmm. This episode was one of my favorites in a while.
It was pretty good.
It opened up. I'm just going to run through kind of how it played out. It opened up, and if you go to WrestlingOnRocks.com recaps, I have all the recaps for NXT, WWE, or Raw, and SmackDown. But open up with Toxic Attraction versus Roxanne Perez and Wendy Chu.
Mm-hmm.
Roxy and Wendy Chu as a team is so fucking good.
It's really surprising, yeah. I like it. I'm liking it.
They meshed and clicked so well. They've paired Grayson Waller up with Tiffany Stratton.
I love this.
That's
I
good.
am loving this.
It's
Really
amazing. There's no romantic undertones at all, and it's playing off so well.
Fingers crossed. I really hope they don't go the love story route, but
yeah.
they just stick with what they're going with. Like, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's amazing. They're the most obnoxious people apart, and together they up the obnoxious levels high. But then they get in the ring because they had a match against Andre Chase and Saray, and the absolute incredible athleticism between Grayson Waller and Tiffany Stratton both mixed up so well. Remember, I've complained a lot about tag teams doing synchronized offense and not tandem offense? This was almost a perfect example of those two competing styles. Andre Chase and Saray were doing synchronized offense. Everything they did that looked like a tag team move was just two people doing the same thing at the same time. Everything Waller and Stratton did was tandem offense. I'm going to assist you in making this move more devastating.
Right.
It was awesome, dude.
And personally, I love this match because each woman got to do a move on the men, and the men didn't do anything. But I like when there's some sort of intergender match. This wasn't necessarily an intergender match, but I did like that the women got to do something to the men, both of them.
Good. That's good. That's a step up.
Yep, and there was someone brought up a good point on ringscoops.com where I do some reviews for as well. They reviewed NXT, and they pointed out that there was not a single match this night that didn't involve a woman somehow. The women took over the show. I said, opened up with Toxic Attraction versus Roxanne and Wendy Chu. The next thing you got was Grayson Waller and Tiffany Stratton talking in the back. You had Diamond Mine introduced a new guy, but then you had Joe Gacy doing a segment talking about how he's got these two new goons and he wants to bring on Braun Breaker. And then it was back to women again. That's where Andre Trace and Saray got connected. Ivy Nile was doing this challenge where she was out working out all these dudes, which for what it was nice, but it was a little weird because she said this, I'm going to compete to separate the boys from the men, and I'm going to win. So I was like, to prove you're a man? Like, that's what do you mean? Like, it was just weird to say that this is a man competition and I'm going to win is like, wait, what?
I'm past the point with Ivy because we've seen so much of her in the ring.
Yeah.
That at this point, I don't consider her as tough as she comes off as.
Yeah.
As she's trying to come off as, I should say. I know she's strong. She's a bodybuilder, but in the ring, it doesn't mesh exactly well, like with an opponent.
Yeah. We've regressed a little bit with her.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And then it was back to the Breakout Tournament. You showed all the women in it. We had Fallon versus Sloane Jacobs, the former Notorious Mimi, who was good. Alba Fire finally had her debut.
That was dope.
Against Amari Miller. Alba Fire, the new Kaylee Ray. Total grunge rock look.
I'm loving this video, this package that they introduced her in.
Yeah, it's this grunge rock meets Game of Thrones thing.
Ooh,
it was badass.
Yeah, she came out like Arya Starks.
Yeah.
And just like through the fire, and you're like, oh, I don't know who this is, but I want to see her kick some ass.
Yeah. Solo Sikoa got some time in the ring to cut a promo. It was badass. Shakes, what you about to say?
No. Putting up the ones.
Yeah, they the one dude. He doesn't need to stay in NXT. I don't know why he's not up there causing waves. After that's when we had the mixed tag match. We had Toxic Attraction checking in with Indy Hartwell, where they say that Mandy says, I have no idea what you're going through. And then when Indy starts saying, yeah, it's tough, Mandy goes, no, I mean, I literally don't know what you're going through. No man's ever left me. So funny.
Bitch.
And then they're like, bye, loser. And you're so like, ooh, fucking hate
Gotta
you.
love Mandy, though. Come on now.
Yeah, she's great.
Nikita Lyons versus Ariana Grace for Breakout Tournament was badass. And then a couple more little things, but that brought us to the main event. Cora Jade versus Natalya. This was match of the week for me. This match was insanely good. I loved it. Natty and Cora had such good chemistry. Cora was in clearly Bayley tribute gear, which I confirmed online by posting a picture of Bayley's gear and of Cora's gear, and then
Tagging.
Cora. I tagged Cora and she liked it. She didn't comment, but that's to me confirmation. That's how Twitter works, I think.
Yep.
They did a number of Stone Cold Bret Hart WrestleMania 13 spots. Natty starts to go. She's working the knee a bunch. She starts to go to do the sharpshooter over the turn pad or the turn post. Although Cora reversed it, which Stone Cold did not. Cora got Natty in the sharpshooter. Ultimately, that made Natty mad. Natty got Cora in the sharpshooter, and Cora did not tap out. She passed out, a la Steve Austin, and Natty got the win and then shook the hand of Cora Jade. I was blown away by this because I've been telling you that Cora's got a ton of upside, and she seems like she's going to be solid, but I felt like she's been struggling. This felt like she'd been training for this all her life. Like, it was crazy good. So I would say, even if you guys don't keep up with NXT all the time, this match in a bubble is so good and worth hunting down.
See, when I hear things like that, it always am like, you know, Natty's done so much. And it seems like, you know, they don't give her that respect to eat. And so when you see this, it's like, damn. It's like, why, you know, why can't you, you know, throw a bone or 10 or whatever, you know?
It's tough. Go ahead, Shakes.
I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off, but
No.
I think she is like one of those workers that, you know, they just do everything and they tote the line for the company that you just, it's kind of like you just take advantage of those type of people. Like, okay, you know what? We need this to get done. Oh, well, Natty will do it.
Like, even inadvertently.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you don't even mean to. You just go, oh, that person does it.
That.
Yeah.
Yep. And she will hold it down for us. She will tote the company line.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Natalia is, excuse me.
Yeah. I've been saying it for a long time. I feel like she's the absolute workhorse and foundation of the women's division. I don't think you have women's wrestling where it's at today without Natty's specific work. Of course, you can point to a ton of women who've done a ton of things, but I think if you remove Natty from the equation, it wouldn't be holding up as steady as it is. You know what I mean? Like, she's done so much to create such a solid foundation and teach these women as they come up. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she asked to go down and work with Cora. She's that type. She's running a whole school over there. Liv Morgan, we talked about how good she's getting every week. Fucking watch Liv Morgan's Instagram and see that she's training with Natty every week, and it all starts to click. You know, like, this was incredible, and I agree. I think sometimes it feels like she's not getting her just due. I think on the flip side, she's a surefire Hall of Famer. I think she's gotten a couple big championships. She's, like you said before, sometimes they I mean, yeah, she won the tag titles, which I was so happy when she finally did that with Tamina. That meant so much to her.
Oh, man. She had them all.
Meant both of them. It meant a lot. Yeah. But I think too, even like with Natty, people forget that before she actually went to WWE, I mean, she was doing Shimmer. And the years she was doing Shimmer, I mean, Jesus, you had like Awesome Kong was in there, Sarah Del Rey, I mean, and some of these other ones that women have popped up. I think, who else was there? There was a lot of them. And it was unbelievable. So she's had her mark on a lot of the women that you see nowadays. And I think that, you know, that's a real special thing. And I think that anybody who can kind of sit under that learning tree, they're going to learn a lot. So it's good to see that a lot of these women are seeking her help.
You gotta, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but you gotta be a very valuable person when they bring in a person like Ronda Rousey to come in your company and you say, train Ronda for us, please. I mean, that's the ultimate, you know, they got the utmost
That's a great point.
And,
Well, yeah,
it's a great point because you know that the investment they have in Ronda is such that they can't let it fail, right? It's that too big to fail thing. We're bringing in Ronda fucking Rousey. This has to work because they've got big visions, and to say it's got to be in Natty's hands and Natty hands alone, like, you're right. That's massive. Dream Reaper in the chat says Natty gets her praise from everyone backstage, but deserves her flowers in front of everyone. I think that's 100% it. I bet you anything when all those conversations come up, we got to cut this person that. I don't even think Natty's name is allowed in those rooms. You know what I mean? Like, don't even start there. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's just too valuable to them. I think they know it. I think that I agree that it'd be nice for us to see a little bit of it. And I do think that her tag team title reign with Tamina, I think that was a bit of flowers for her. They knew how much it would mean to her specifically in her lineage to hold those. And
both of them, really.
For both of them, it meant a lot. And I think that was a little bit of us seeing that because when you really look at that story that brought them there, it was a little rushed. It was a little thrown together. But there was so much emotion in it, and you could tell it meant so much that we were all just ready and waiting, that we didn't care if you done it even faster. You could have given me less story. I've been happy with it. You know what I mean?
It's
like
layers. It's layers with them too. It's layers, and this goes back to their fathers, their dads. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Grim Reaper said she should get one more run as champ. I'd like to see her have one solid, special WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something
that's all she needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's owed that.
Yeah.
Tenfold.
But absolutely, I would say that to both of you, I wouldn't say, hey, go watch everything here. Amanda, you would like the Joe Gacy stuff. He's on such a high level. Shakes, what do you think of Joe Gacy?
I ain't check out.
All right. Well, no, just not this particular moment here, but Joe Gacy in general. Do you like his character, or are you not even that attention?
I'm not familiar with him.
All right. All right.
That's a good one to watch because,
Joe Gacy.
especially, week after week. Because at first I'm like, this is kind of weird, but now, I'm so invested in it that I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. This one was a solid one.
And then Roxanne and Wendy. Woo.
Yeah.
Well, if I come back next week, I'll probably have some stuff on them. I'll check them out myself.
Cameron Grimes is another one you need to see.
Cameron Solo Sikoa. I'm just saying, this week was a good one where I was watching it like glued. And a lot of times something will come in and out and kind of like, I don't know. This one, even, there was nothing. There was nothing in here that I was kind of like, what are we doing? Like,
we didn't get any, there was no Legato this week?
Legato and Tony D'Angelo did some stuff, but they
that weird stuff again?
They balanced it well, and it's leading to a match next week. It did have some weird shit where it's all like, hey, you kidnapped my guy, so I kidnapped your guy. Let my guy breathe and I won't kill your guy. And you're kind of like, what the fuck, guys? Like, apart from that, they're getting in the ring next week. So
is my boy Mello still a champion?
No, but he came out and he's going to be... He lost to Cameron Grimes. In a triple threat. They had Solo, Cameron, and Sikoa. Cameron Grimes and Carmelo are having a rematch for the North American title at the upcoming In Your House.
Nice.
And then whoever wins that goes up against Solo Sikoa. So we'll see. Okay. Dude, Solo's so good.
Gonna get me back into this NXT, huh?
And Solo's nice, dude. I did a drawing for Solo, and he fucking followed me and DM'd me.
Really? He followed you too?
Yeah.
I didn't know
and he DM'd me. Like, straight away. He was like the second or third like, and he DM'd me, and he's like, dude, appreciate this so much. Like, I was like, I've gotten wrestlers to like a few drawings I've done here and there, and it always feels nice and cool. But when they make a comment, it feels a little extra special. I've never had one DM me straight up and talk to me for a minute.
You're lucky if they like and retweet. Like, that's super lucky.
Yeah, if they retweet at all, it's crazy.
Somebody snotty I don't think he liked did he heart your photo?
No. Ricky snubbed me. Ruby Soho snubbed me like 3 times.
Oh yeah, she definitely Liv
Morgan snubbed me. They're ones that you can see saw it and still snub you. Those are the ones where I'm kind of like, man, you know how much time I put into that?
Right.
Yeah, like he actually draws. I think you draw it too nice because I think they think it's just like a filter that you don't actually draw it. You know?
Dude, that's what pissed me off about this new filter everyone's doing with that kind of like painty look. Mm-hmm. It's just a filter people are doing. It made me so mad because I was like, God damn it, that takes me like 10 hours to do a drawing like that. Mm-hmm. And now people are just using a filter. They're going to think I'm just using a filter.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, either way.
You need to do something for the man behind me.
I need to do a new style. Yeah.
Because he lost.
Well, if he's looking for merch, tell Janela to hit me up.
I will. Yeah.
But guys, check out this week's NXT.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, watch the main event. If you like women's wrestling, you're gonna love Cora versus Natty and the Bret Hart Stone Cold callbacks. I will say this: because I've given a lot of shit to AEW and all their Bret Hart tribute matches they keep having. If you do it right in the right moment with the right people, it's awesome. CM Punk doing it 6 weeks in a row is overkill. So by the time you get Dax and Cash doing it and it's the right people at the right time, it feels like we're doing this again.
Right.
You can't have guys like CM Punk watering it down by doing it every week. It's got to be special in the right moments to make someone light up. This was that kind of moment.
But Phil doesn't understand that the Phil in 2012 is not the Phil that's 10 years later.
True.
He needs to get over that.
Did you guys get a feeling that, like a week or two ago, Adam Page cut a heel promo on Punk, and this week Punk cut a heel promo on Page?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you think they just don't know what they're doing with that story yet? Or do you think they have...
They don't know which one they want to be the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious that the intention is that belt's coming off of Hangman. It's quite obvious.
It's got to, right? It's got to. Shakes, do you want that belt off Hangman?
Yes.
Really?
I wanted it on Adam Cole.
Oh, come on.
Ah.
Oh, boo.
Adam Cole, baby.
I could never
least
get
it's
into
not-
him. I really couldn't. He does not look like any type of athlete to me.
I'm not afraid of him.
Like, I feel like I could kick his ass,
I
and
know
that's
I
not
can kick
great.
his ass.
He do look like it's like.
I'm
what's so
sorry.
special? Oh, what's so special? Hey, but
Yeah. I
There's
think I
two-
towered over him in my picture with Adam Cole.
Yeah. There's two wrestlers where I would not be afraid to get into a fight with them in public, and that's Adam Cole and CM Punk. Not afraid at all.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Not afraid at all.
imposing. They definitely not imposing.
You know who else is not threatening either?
And I think they're both too cocky to know that they're about to get their ass kicked.
You know who's not threatening either, I will say, is
No, I was
Janela?
asking who.
Janela.
Oh.
That's my homie, though. But Janela.
I will say Janela 2 years ago, yes. I'd say Janela now, I don't know. Because he's got fire in his eyes. Because I've been around Janela a couple times.
Fire in his eyes. What are you
No,
talking
when he was with Penelope, he didn't have shit in his eyes. I met
Oh,
him
bullshit.
first time when he was with Penelope and at Starcast, and he looked like the dumpiest, most lackadaisical. He didn't look like there was anything going on there. I was all like, dude's got to be, you know.
No. That's my bud. Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm saying when I first saw him, I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of him. But at the last GCW show I was at, where he flipped out on the fans, I was like, oh shit. If this breaks out, I don't know who to help.
No, I'd be Team Janela all the way. Like,
Oh, yeah, I think so,
fuck
yeah.
with Joey.
Yeah. He gets a fire in his eyes, and he's looking great right now. He's awesome.
You know who I would be definitely afraid of is Malachi Black.
Hmm.
And I haven't met him yet. He's
Yeah.
the one. I keep telling you guys. I got screwed over with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony Khan. Yeah. Whatever. Khan man. He is. Yeah, no. Brody King. Some people are afraid of him. I'm not afraid of him. Nope.
Brody King. He's a big dude. He's a big imposing
He's a
dude,
big
so I can
dude.
see that.
But yeah, no, but I'm not afraid of him. But
Well, I know a
Malachi
couple
Black-
big teddy bears myself, but at the same time, I'm not about to fucking try to see if
He's
there's a
deep.
grizzly bear, too.
Yeah, Keith Lee's nice. I would not
Shanky.
afraid of Keith Lee.
Shanky? Shanky.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, producer lady?
I don't know if it's related, but WWE is going to announce the upcoming NIL class, the athletes. So I don't know which one, how many of them are just going straight to NXT. If
Are
any
you
of them
familiar
going-
with the collegiate athletes that they are looking at any given time, Shakes? Is that something you look at when they bring on collegiate people? Do you like the collegiate athletes in the Next in Line program? Do you watch
Like
college
wrestling?
sports, Riley?
Yeah, I watch a lot of college sports, and I'm thinking about the guy that he was just in the Olympics. Now he's in WWE. What's his name?
Yeah. Gable Steveson.
Yeah.
Gabe Stevenson.
Yeah. Well, then when the no list comes out, I'll have you see if you recognize anybody on there, because I always think it's neat when they bring in the collegiate guys. But
not a lot. I think it's like 15.
is there a list that's out?
They're going to announce it soon.
Yeah, so we'll see what it is, and I'll tell you. You can tell me if they're good at what they do or not. We'll go from there. Anything else you guys wanted to bring up at all before we have last call?
No, but if I end up in jail in I think it's San Francisco County still, but I don't know. Tomorrow, I would like producer Lydia and Marsh to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah, we can start a GoFundMe and get you out.
Why?
Get some bail.
What are you gonna do?
She's gonna go see Ocean Spray. She might choke him out.
I didn't. Okay, this is why I told people on the Jericho cruise, because he trolled me. Y'all know that. I did not throw him overboard. Okay, I was actually nice. I was nice to him. I said hello. And Jack said hello, Ocean Spray, but he knows I call him that. Yeah. So he knows I'm the Marty girl. So but he knows who I am. But if I happen to, please contribute to the bail fund. But I don't. Nothing's going to happen. No,
time will tell.
And also, they do have at the shows there because they have to. There's some kind of law in the city that they run in.
Tell someone who's near you if you get arrested to tweet out about it right away so we can know.
I don't think a lot of people want to be by me.
That's probably true. I
don't know. I mean, there's some people who are like, I can't wait to see what she says to him.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, what haven't I said?
Yep.
What haven't
All right.
It's true.
All right, guys. We'll be back next week to find out if MsAmandaJayne was arrested and bailed out all at once. Shakes NYG. You can find him on Twitter. You can check out his sports show. Or is he back? Shakes, tell him how people can find you and where your show's at.
At Shakes NYG on Twitter, and you can find me on YouTube, The Shakedown Show. We do
what you guys cover?
Monday through Friday. New York.
Oh, sweet.
Giants, baby.
Monday through Friday? You talk about strictly the Giants?
We talk all sports though. All
awesome.
Baseball, football, basketball, it doesn't matter. Boxing, whatever sport you watch, Shakedown we covered.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I just want to let people know in case there's crossover.
Shakedown Sports Podcast.com. That's our website. Check us out.
Awesome. And
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm definitely sure it won't be the last.
Absolutely. We definitely want to have you on more.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate you coming through. AmandaJayne, we'll see you next week right here in the dive bar of the IWC.
Lady. Thank you,
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for coming through.
That's the last call, guys.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Good night.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm putting the eye and subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers.
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.